Family banking from a name you trust, Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High-quality banking services delivered by caring professionals, people just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks, divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
Why call 2 men in a truck for junk removal? If you're like Sarah, you've got a full garage. You need space, and you need it now. You want pros who make this look easy. That's why, for junk removal, you call 2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
All right, mic test 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing broadcaster audio here from Peoria Stadium. Peoria High Lions and Bloomington Purple Raiders. They're doing the coin toss right now. Josh, can you watch this coin toss to see and note who wins this coin toss and who will be kicking or receiving? Again, testing audio here 1 2.
I can hear you.
All right, well, do you want to test him to make sure WMBD can hear?
Oh, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Going to be a great game tonight. Getting started here pretty soon.
And game will be starting here soon. Chilly. Again, we're just testing audio, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Let me know if you guys hear us. And that if we're hopefully not sounding all echoey. Okay. All right. From historic Peoria Stadium, it's a big-time Big 12 battle here on a chilly October night in the heart of Central Illinois. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Michael and Latif Love on hand for tonight's game. Latif, Bloomington Purple Raiders and the Peoria High Lions, two of the best teams in the area, regardless of conference, this entire season.
Super excited about this game tonight. It is a bit chilly, but we are here for a clash of the Titans. This game has serious playoff implications, serious Big 12 implications tonight, so it should be a great one.
And there you see the traffic humming along on War Memorial Drive, just a stone's throw away, but also a good crowd here on hand tonight. And again, we're glad you're tuned in with us live in our WMBD Game of the Week here on CIProud.com. This is a battle essentially for second place in the Big 12 right now. Both these teams have one conference loss. Normal Community, the team above them, they are undefeated in conference play, but whoever wins tonight still has a shot to win that conference title.
Especially with Peoria, because they do have Normal Community on the schedule following this week, so a little bit extra incentive for them to possibly take the lead of the conference after this game. But yeah, this game is going to be a clash of the Titans. They're two balanced teams, honestly. I think it's probably one of the most balanced Peoria teams I've seen since I've been watching them. They can run with the best of them in the entire state, and their quarterback has been special this year in the passing game as well. And on Bloomington, their running back and quarterback duo as well has been elite. So, and also both these teams have great defenses. So it's going to be a very well-balanced game. I kind of expect it to be a little bit high-scoring.
Definitely lots of great offense, lots of great defense. Two of the most complete teams in the area as well. That's why they've been so good and have already locked up their playoff bids. It is City of Peoria Police Night. That bus right there, that's what Peoria High rolled in on. They got a police escort from that custom-wrapped CityLink bus. They are pumped up for tonight's senior night game. We'll have more pregame coverage here from Peoria Stadium, but first, a look at our bracketology. Yes, playoffs not too far away, and I break down what's at stake for both teams coming up here in the playoffs. We'll be right back after this.
What's up, everyone? Jonathan Michael of Clutch Sports Media here, talking about some IHSA football bracketology. We love bracketology when it's college basketball season, talking about who's going to make it in, who's going to make it out, who's going to be seated where. Well, we've done the same thing for the upcoming football postseason coming here in just about 2 weeks. And we posted full bracketology forecasting brackets for all 8 classes on CSM Overtime. You can subscribe at clutchsportsil.com/overtime. And if you're already subscribed, even better, you can go and check it out now. But we're going to be talking about Bloomington and Peoria High, where we maybe see them falling in the Class 5A and 6A brackets. We will start with Bloomington. They look like they are going to be in Class 6A as usual, where they were last year. And as of right now, we have Bloomington forecasted to be a number 6 seed, so still hosting a playoff game in the first round. At the moment, we have them facing off with Glenbard South, normally a team that's in Class 5A, but has elected to play up to Class 6A given its recent success. So that's where we have the Purple Raiders right now, is at the 6th. But it is very important to note that these predictions can change based off of any other teams in the state winning, really. We had to try and predict winners for almost every game across the state to get these final projections. So if one domino falls, it could lead to a lot of different things changing. Maybe Bloomington moves higher, maybe they move lower. Best case scenario for Bloomington, if they beat Peoria High tonight, as well as beat Champaign Centennial next week, you're looking at an 8-1 record with a decent amount of playoff points, which are essentially the total number of your opponent's wins. It helps break ties, and really for Bloomington, they played a tough schedule in the Big 12, so it should really benefit them. If they do finish 8-1, I can see Bloomington being as high as a number 3 seed in the southern bracket of Class 6A. Obviously, it would give them a bit of an easier road to the playoffs. Again, no game in the playoffs is easy, but a higher seed usually gives you a lower seeded opponent in the first round and more opportunities to host later on. As other potential opponents that Bloomington could have in the first round include potentially Crete Monee, Oak Forest, Palos Heights Shepherd, Blue Island Eisenhower, and potentially maybe Springfield. But those are just a couple. A lot of area teams in Class 6A too, including Washington, Normal West, and Pekin, who is formerly a Class 7A team, but is forecasted right now to be in Class 6A. So a lot of potential local-on-local matchups in Class 6A, so I'll be excited to see where the Bloomington Purple Raiders fall. As for Peoria High right now, we have them forecasted as the number 3 seed in the southern portion of the Class 5A bracket. And right now for Peoria High, they also have a good amount of opponents' wins. Definitely helps that their non-conference game was played against Morris, who is a very strong Class 5A team. That will help out the Lions a lot in seeding right now. Now Peoria High is a very tough game to close out against Normal Community. We'll go best case scenario if the Lions win tonight and win against Normal Community. Then you're looking at an 8-1 team with a good amount of playoff points. There's potential that Peoria High could be the top overall seed in the southern portion of the bracket as well. Obviously, you would host in the first round as well. So good news for Peoria High. And even better news, too, is the way 6A is shaping up, especially in the southern portion of the bracket. Even if Peoria High loses 1 or 2 games, they could still host in the first round, given that there may be a lot of other 6-3 teams in there. Again, you got Metamora in 5A as well. Dunlap is 5A as well. Again, right now, Peoria High's projected matchup is with a Chicago school, Perspectives Leadership. We have as the number 14 seed right now, but some other opponents potentially could include Sterling, Sacred Heart Griffin, Hillcrest, and maybe one of those local schools or Thornton Fractional North as well. So again, that's just a small bit of our IHSA football bracketology. Again, we have full forecast for all 8 classes, analysis of all area teams to Peoria and Bloomington Normal as well. Definitely check it out. We will also have updated IHSA bracketology following this week's game, so stay tuned for that. Again, you can find that all at CSM Overtime and get access to all of our other written content there as well.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
Your stats and standings.
your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts.
As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds.
CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
And welcome back to Peoria Stadium. The Lions are assembled in their inflatable helmet, brand new, may we add, and they are ready to go for tonight's Big 12 contest against the Bloomington Purple Raiders. Both teams coming this one state ranked. We'll get into that one here in a bit, but first let's take a look at the weather here tonight. A little bit chilly. We're in long sleeves and jackets for the first time this year. It says 61, Latif. I gotta say it feels a little bit cooler than that, but no wind, or I should say little wind and no rain.
It is perfect football weather. It's going to be great for passing and running. Been to the stadium a few times when it's late in the fall, and it's been raining and it's been very, very cold. And I think Peoria has struggled sometimes in the very few losses they have over the years in environments like that. I think it was one game in particular against Normal West where they continued to fumble the ball and ultimately lost. Their only loss of the year before the playoffs. But tonight shouldn't be a problem.
Definitely, very few teams can beat Peoria High. The elements are one thing that have given them some trouble over the years, including against Normal West back in Week 5, which there was their lone loss, 20-18. But since then, they've rebounded well, and they shouldn't have to deal with any bad elements tonight. And speaking of Normal West and the rest of the Big 12, let's take a look at the current standings. Latif, again, Normal Community on top right now, 3 teams at 6-1. Yeah, we mentioned this is a battle essentially for second place, but lots of other good teams lurking in there as well. Big 12 has been strong yet again.
It's been a great conference for a multitude of years. This one is no different, but again, like we said in the open, this is a definitely important game for the conference and the playoff race. So I think both of these teams know that. Peoria has the fans on their side. They have the community on their side right now. So hopefully they can use that momentum to get a win here.
And definitely. Maybe this win would mean maybe a little bit more to Bloomington. It's been a while since they've beaten Peoria High. Last time they did so was back in 2020, actually during the spring of 2021, rather, during that COVID year. But again, Peoria High traditionally has been a stronger team in the Big 12 than Bloomington, but this is arguably been the year for the Purple Raiders. And if they can get a marquee win here tonight, I think that would really just be not the entire icing on the cake, but it would be a big cherry in that dessert they got going.
Definitely one of the better teams I've seen from them over the years, and this is their real shot to do it. An experienced team, a veteran team. They can play in a multitude of ways. They can play fast. They can slow down. When you think about the game last week, 400 yards of offense, basically 200 in the air, basically 200 on the ground. So when you have that balance, it's really hard to scheme for a team, and it's really hard to beat a team. But they do have a tough challenge going up against one of the best teams in the state over the last 25 years.
Definitely. There's the dramatic entrance from the Lions wearing their special Peoria police uniforms tonight. Yes, the Lions are in blue and yellow, same colors as the police department as well. And boy, they are hyped up and ready to go for tonight. We'll take a quick break here from Peoria Stadium. Be right back. More pregame coverage and kickoff coming shortly on CIProud.com.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like taking marinated oven-roasted chicken and tossing it in our hot lemon pepper sauce. Or how we hand toss our fresh, never-frozen signature dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And now our dough can save you dough when you order from the Papa Pairings menu. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Order now on the app.
And welcome back to Peoria Stadium. Just a few moments away from kickoff here. Again, we mentioned this was a state-ranked matchup. Latif, first let's take a look at Peoria High. They're up at number 4 in Class 5A right now. See some other very good teams among them as well. I think a win tonight maybe could move them up potentially over Joliet Catholic, who's 4-3 right now.
Yeah, and Joliet Catholic is going to benefit of doubt because of the conference they play in, one of the best in the state, if not the best in the state. But a win here tonight versus Bloomington and a matchup next week against Normal Community could have them as one of the best teams in the entire state.
Definitely, you see Morris on number 8, and Peoria High beat them back in week 4, 58-52. That's been their best win of the season. Let's take a look now at Class 6A. Bloomington dropped out briefly last week, but now they're back in the top 10 at that number 10 spot. And boy, there are tons of good teams in 6A this year. It's a loaded class led by East St. Louis and Cary Grove, so no shame in being even at the bottom half of the top 10 in 6A.
Definitely, it's almost an honor considering how far this program has come in recent years to be in this conversation with great teams like this. Obviously, East St. Louis dominated Illinois football for a very, very long time. Nationally ranked, all that type of stuff. So to be in conversations with teams like that, I'm pretty sure the kids are proud of themselves, the coaches are proud of themselves, and it's definitely fun to see your name in the list of that teams.
Definitely. Let's take a look at tonight's Tale of the Tape. The prize fighter lineup. Both teams, again, evenly matched up with 6-1 records. Look at the points for 43 for Bloomington, 53 for Peoria High, and they give up about the same amount of points, too. So I think, again, like you said, it could be a very close game here tonight, Latif. I think we're going to see either a very defensive rock fight game or a complete track meet.
I am expecting a shootout. I think both of these defenses are good, but more often than not, great offense just prevails, especially on a night like this where it's no rain, no wind. The offensive has the advantage right now on both sides of the ball, just be able to play free and stuff like that. So I think it can work to the offensive advantages, and I think we'll can see it'll probably be around something like 28-35, something like that.
Our coin toss brought to you by Hometown Community Banks was won by the Purple Raiders. They elected to receive the ball, and they get a fair catch at the 23. Kickoff brought to you by Michael's Italian Feast. And let's meet the Bloomington starting offense.
Justin Robinson, senior, left tackle.
Gavir Singh, senior, left guard.
Chance French, senior, center.
Jared Sturdivant, senior, right guard.
Dave Williams, junior, right tackle.
AJ Cadron, senior, quarterback.
Rob Lanier, senior, running back.
Keontae Hamilton, junior, receiver.
Carter Tyndall, junior, receiver.
Jordan Norton, junior, receiver.
Ken Rabai, senior, tight end.
And so Bloomington will start this game at their own 22-yard line with two wide receivers and A.J. Cadron, their quarterback, in the shotgun. Man in motion for Bloomington. That's Cedric Gassaway. It's a run up the middle and a strong push by that Peoria High defensive line. Taylon Jordan was in there.
And Bloomington this year on opening drives they play teams pretty close. They usually go out there on the first possession and get a score, but they also let up a score. I think Peoria was definitely ready for them to run on that play with how good Rob Lanier has been for Bloomington this year.
And Lanier, the made man in the backfield for them. He comes in tonight with a little over 750 rushing yards. Been a big focal point of the offense, and that was what Peoria High wanted to do, is eliminate their run game tonight. Gain of 2 on first down. Lions loading the box. And another short run by Lanier. Another great stop by the Peoria High defense. And Latif, let's take a brief look at our keys to the game for both teams. For Bloomington, they got a red light green. That sounds counterintuitive. They got to stop their quarterback, Breon Green, and also have a strong special teams as well, as they're doing them against Normal Community a couple weeks ago.
Definitely. They found ways to score in different ways, especially you got to win at all three levels in this conference, and so special teams is something that's very important.
And then for Peoria High, you see there, again, limit Lanier. And there got to be some home run hitters. Got to get some big plays. Potentially like this for Bloomington. It's a reverse for Jordan Norton, their wide receiver, on 3rd and 7. He did not pick up the first down, so we'll see what Bloomington elects to do here. Notable decision, Latif. Mikey Kimmel, who was injured against Normal Community, their linebacker, running back, and punter, was a game-time decision today, and he is on the field, number 6 in white. And we'll see what they do here on 4th and 1. Looks like they might go for it. And it's just a power run.
And I don't know if the ref saw that, but it kind of did look like he reached over. Let's see what they said. Oh.
And it's a big stop for the Peoria High defense. Kenner Bai did not get there, so the Lions will have great field position at about the 32-yard line. Let's meet the Peoria High starting offense.
Jaquarius Green, junior, left guard.
Christian Alexander, senior, center.
Kimari Jackson, sophomore, right guard.
Deshaun Brock, junior, right tackle.
Breon Green, junior, quarterback.
Detorian Pollard, junior, running back.
Kendall Netters, senior, running back.
TQ Webb, senior, receiver.
Jalen Rayford, junior, wide receiver.
Amari Branch, senior, wide out.
And so Peoria High, led by Breon Green and that big offensive line, will take over at the 31.
Interesting decision from the Purple Aces right there to go for that when you're in your own territory on the road against an explosive offense like this.
They tried to go with their tight end, Kenner Bai, on the run, and he just didn't quite get there. Strong run up the middle for the Lions. That's number 35, who is wearing a different jersey number tonight. Pollard normally number 0, but with these alternate jerseys tonight, he's donning number 35, so got to keep an eye on that. Breon Green looking to throw into double coverage. It's a dangerous ball, and I think it's picked off. That's Kenyatta Gardner for Bloomington. Latif, he was our key player to watch coming into tonight. Had an interception last week and does it again this week.
There is a flag out on the play, so I do want to see that. But what an incredible play right there. I believe that was zone, and he actually left his coverage to go pick that. Great way to read the eyes of the quarterback and make a play. Kind of reminiscent of Travis Hunter, if I might say so myself.
Hey, gotta like those comparisons. Latif, one of the best in the business at that. We will see what this flag is. I was kind of, again, you mentioned almost a gamble on Gardner's part, kind of leaving his zone. And judging by Bloomington's reaction, I think this one might be on Peoria High. Lions defense on the field. I think they're picking up this flag, or no, it'd be a personal foul on Bloomington. But it was after the play, so it's first down, Purple Raiders. Latif, they get the ball right back. How about Kenyatta Gardner? The senior safety's been having a fantastic year and has been their team's leading tackler as well.
Yeah, what a great game. He's able to wreck games like he did last week. But you take the gamble on the first drive, and it kind of pays off a little bit. You get it back. Let's see how they respond in the second drive.
1st and 10 from the 10, and Lanier still on his feet somehow. Tumbles across the 20-yard line.
Great, strong run by him, and I know he got help from his offense lineman right there getting to the second level. That's really, really impressive to see from a high school offensive lineman, but good, strong run by Lanier right there. Been doing that all season.
Lanier, again, has been a running back and linebacker, making the most of his senior season. He's got 896 total yards coming in tonight, along with 17 total touchdowns. That includes his work rushing and receiving. You see there, he had a good week against P&D back in week 7 with a pair of scores. 1st and 10 now from the 24. Another loaded box by Peoria High, that man-to-man defense. It's another end around to Norton. Flag on the play. This one may come back, but Norton's got a head of steam and deep into Peoria High territory. It's a gain of 40 right now, but we'll see if it stands.
Looks like a hold. They're probably going to be calling this back, and you can see the Purple Aces coming back to the line of scrimmage right now. But that play might get called back, but you see the consequences of loading the box like that, especially you going man. It really is hard to guard the edges of there with your cornerbacks and allow the wide receiver to get it on the end around and take it for a game. But it is coming back because I think of a hold.
And that's kind of become a staple of this Peoria High defense. You know, they have so many athletes, and they feel like they can guard anyone man-to-man, and most of the time, it works. If there's a one team in the area that can play straight man with everybody, it is the Peoria High Lions. Sometimes, though, you do give up big plays like that, but like you said, we'll be marching back to the 14. We'll set up a 2nd and 20.
And I think you can get away with that when you have the talent gap that they have on most teams. But when you come into a game like this against Bloomington, who have just as much athletes as you do, it's a dangerous game to play.
Another 1st and 20. Another handoff to Lanier, busting out to the left side. Lanier's across the 25, up to about the 34. He almost got all of those 20, if not all of it right there.
Same things last play. It's hard for them to guard them edges with the cornerbacks on the side. Great blocking from the wide receivers on that play. And Lanier takes that counter, a little misdirection for about 19 yards.
Titavion Alexander on the stop for the Lions, junior safety for them. Both these teams very strong at the safety position. Demarion Zapata, the other safety for Peoria High, has been a big leader this year. And Trayvon Wiley, the other safety alongside Gardner for Bloomington, has been a team captain and playing well too. Cadret facing some pressure, got to get rid of it. Throwing it is intercepted right back by Peoria High. At midfield, that was number 7 right on cue. That was Demarion Zapata.
And I think he had a man wide open. He just underthrew it. It kind of looked like the receivers bumped into each other route. Maybe someone ran the wrong route and allowed the Peoria High defender to get an interception. What a way to gain back momentum after the costly mistake on the first drive. Both teams came out, made 2 mistakes. One of these teams got to strike first. Will be Peoria High on this drive.
And you haven't seen many interceptions by A.J. Codron this year. Bloomington as a whole is taking care of the ball very well, but a rare miscue there gives the Lions the ball right back at midfield.
Haven't seen many interceptions from either of these offenses. I think Peoria High has 5 on the season coming into this game.
Pollard jets ahead for about 7 or 8. Before he is brought down by, again, Gardner yet again. Pickup of 7 there. Pollard came into tonight averaging about 7.5 yards per carry. Going to be tough to keep either of these teams behind the chains. Green keeping it. Flag on the play, but he's met by a trio of yellow helmets. Justin Robinson, one of the first guys there, and boy, is he a menace on the edge.
We've seen a few penalties so far in this game. Both teams committing penalties to start it off, and it's killing drives, honestly, backing them up. And then we see a costly mistake there from both teams.
No flag there on Peoria High. They'll back them up to 2nd and 13. And spot foul, so you don't go back the full 10 yards from last play's line of scrimmage. Green out of the shotgun. He's got 4 wide receivers. Stacked up evenly on both sides. It's a quarterback draw. Green right up the middle, finds the hole. He's got the first down up to the 35. Wow, what a run there from Breon Green. One of multiple guys to watch on this offense, but our key player tonight, again, Latif, has been Detarion Pollard.
And what confidence from the coach right there to go back to another QB draw type of play after it didn't work on the last one, pardon me.
Big gain for Green. Another good run here. This time it's Pollard. He's got another first down up to the 24. Some very efficient running we've seen from both teams so far.
And imagine trying to be a defensive end or a defensive lineman trying to guard that read option. Peoria likes to have those dual threat quarterbacks and continue the trend. And when you combine them with a elusive running back like Lanier, it makes it very hard to guard that rushing game.
Pollard again with another carry. Peoria High playing very quickly, that fast style we're accustomed to seeing from them. Even though Tim Thornton, no longer the head coach at Peoria High, they still abide by that same motto that he helped instill: fast, hard, and finish. Bloomington finishes off Pollard in the backfield, though, and again Justin Robinson was back there.
Yep, and Tim Thornton no longer the coach here, but you can still tell they have the same mentality. When you work here for that long, it kind of hard for an entirely new identity to be shown. They still play very fast. They still lean on the running game. They're still a very explosive offense, and he is the credit for a lot of that.
Green looking to pass on 3rd and 11. He's got a man to the outside, inside the 10. And Peoria High keeps the chains moving. That was TQ Webb, Green's favorite receiver that he hooked up with. And we mentioned Aaron Montgomery, Peoria High's new head coach. Off to a pretty good start, formerly an offensive line coach with the Lions. And how about this, Latif? He also played baseball. He was a pitcher at ICC just across the river from here.
Yeah, it's very hard to go through sports like that, but he must have played a lot of sports in high school.
Pollard nearly got into the end zone. He stopped just shy. This has been this Peoria High offense that many teams have been accustomed to seeing. Just up-tempo, big gains on almost every play so far from them.
They have a few players with hundreds of yards rushing, and so they're very, very balanced as well.
Give goes to Pollard. He goes up the middle, and he is in. Detorion Pollard scores the game's first touchdown, and there goes the light show. Pollard is in for his 13th touchdown of the 2024 campaign.
And what a response from the Lions right there. Get a turnover after you turned the ball over. Take advantage of that great field position. Run the ball down the Purple Aces' throat, and you finally get into the end zone. Way to set a tone here in front of your crowd, and way to get the first score on the board.
So Peoria High will line up for their customary two-point conversion, and why not give it back to Pollard? He just runs right through it like he's just running through one of those things at the car wash. Anything is brushing up against him, arms hitting you all over. Doesn't even matter. Pollard in for 2 more.
And I wonder if the Purple Aces were a bit fatigued on that play. They have had to come out here a few times, barely got any rest because the offense turned the ball over, and they also got an interception, weren't rewarded for their interception, and that can be a little bit demoralizing to a defense.
Definitely, and that scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. We want to thank them and all of our great sponsors tonight that helped make tonight's broadcast possible, including also 2 Men in a Truck, Adam Merrick Real Estate, Pepperell Chiropractic, and 3300 Event Center. Just some of them here as well. So Lions strike first, 8-0. And in case you're just tuning in, interceptions by both teams on their first drives of the game. Kenyatta Gardner with one for Bloomington. Then Tavarian Zapata picked one off for Peoria High and led to that touchdown drive. Kick is away, and Bloomington just calls for the fair catch. Let's meet the Peoria High defensive starters right now.
Taylor Jordan, senior, DN.
Daniel Greenlee, senior, D tackle.
Tylen Ward, junior, defensive line.
Tristan Hansen, senior, DN.
Julian Lowe, sophomore, middle linebacker.
Cameron Peterson, senior, outside linebacker.
Keon Jordan, senior, linebacker.
Spencer Russell, senior, DB.
Melvin Jenkins, junior, cornerback.
Damari Zapata, junior, strong safety.
Tatavia Alexander, junior, free safety.
So 1st and 10, Purple Raiders. They start this drive at the 25. Again, Gasaway in motion. And this is going to be a short run, and met immediately. Cam Peterson was the first Lion there. Strong part of a linebacking core for the Lions.
Great job from him right there, setting the edge as well, and then getting back inside after he forced the running back to cut inside. But the Purple Aces haven't been able to establish any momentum on offense because every time they do have a positive play, it's called back by a penalty. This is going to be a very important drive for them with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Don't want to go down 2 scores hardly ever to Peoria High. Kenner Bai bounces off of a man and gets up close to the 30-yard line. Bai has not carried the ball much this year, Latif. He did so last year. He had 29 rushes for 133 yards and a touchdown. He's been more just kind of a tight end, catching a few passes and blocking. Now we see him running the ball.
Yeah, he can move around a lot of spaces and be the fullback, be the tight end, go into the slot and be a receiver. So having that versatility on this offense has definitely helped. He's kind of like a jack of all trades.
3rd and 4 from the 31. Bloomington looking to cross midfield for the first time. It's another reverse. Hand off to Arion Jones, and he gets wrapped up, I believe, is short of the line. Looks like Julian Lowe was the one to stop him there, so Bloomington will punt. At least it appears that way. He decided to go for it last time. It did not pay off. First quarter flying by here at historic Peoria Stadium over a 100-year-old venue. Formerly used as a racetrack, both cars and horses. Punt is away. Peoria High says no one back. And punt dribbles out down to the 33. And the Lions will take over. So Latif, Bloomington is a bit of an unfamiliar spot here, facing an early deficit here in the first quarter, where they've been so good this year. Look at how much they've outscored opponents by in the first quarter so far through 7 games.
And sometimes they do give up that initial score, but then they dominate after that. It seems like they take a time to get settled, but then once they do, they get going. But they haven't been able to get settled. Every drive has been short. That one was almost basically a 3-and-out, and now your defense has barely got rest again, and you have to go up against an explosive offense. Let's see if they can make another play, though.
As Bloomington defense, again, got to keep an eye on just their stamina tonight with this fast Peoria High offense. Pollard runs to the right side, not much doing there. And the Bloomington defense, going to look at them now. Got Robinson, Williams, Gurveer Singh, Keaton Walls also up front. They also have a very strong linebacking core. You got 2 all-conference first-teamers in Mikey Kimball and Kenner Bai, plus a talented secondary as well. It's a unit that's only been allowing just over 18 points per game. Another good play there forces a 3rd and medium.
And when we talk about this Peoria offense, it's not only fast, but they run the ball as well. So they're in tempo a lot. They're running the ball. So that's taking even more stamina off these defenses. But they've been responding well in this drive. Let's see if they can get off the field on 3rd down and 13.
Line to gain is the 42. Again, Lions do like to go for on a 4th down. It's a rocket of a pass. It's complete to Spencer Russell.
What a great catch right there. Hands up play, and he accelerated so fast right there. And demoralizing 1st down giving up right there when you almost were off the field. But great play right there from Spencer Russell.
Russell did a great job just hanging onto that ball. Green had some zip, major zip on that ball.
That definitely had to hurt to catch that ball for sure.
You see him going out to the sidelines, maybe just kind of rubbing his hands together. Now from the 40, it's another give to Pollard. Just going right into the teeth of the Bloomington defense and coming away unscathed for another 1st down.
Yeah, the Purple Aces are reeling right now. Peoria is in sync right now at home. It's like those great teams. They just know how to get it done on those long drives. Know how to take you out the game really, really quickly. And so it's definitely dangerous for the Aces right now if they let it score up right here.
Kendall Netters gets that handoff there for Peoria High. 30 seconds left. Still time to maybe run even 2 more plays, given the pace of this Peoria offense. They said they practice so fast that Friday night seems slow to them. Pollard not going much of anywhere this time. David Williams in on the stop. First time we've called his name, the big junior defensive end.
And this Aces defense is making great plays to get the Peoria offense off schedule. But like you said, they may be practicing so much that off-schedule stuff just doesn't bother them at this point.
That first quarter brought to you by Sunflower Real Estate. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back. The Lions are driving.
Family banking from a name you trust. Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High-quality banking services delivered by caring professionals. People just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks, divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
Why call 2 men in a truck for junk removal? If you're like Sarah, you've got a full garage. You need space and you need it now. You want pros who make this look easy. That's why for junk removal, you call 2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine-washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
And welcome back. Second quarter about to get underway here at Peoria Stadium. And it's going to be a QB keeper by Breon Green. He's spun around and brought down. Looks like Lorenz Higgins and Kevion Chestnut were the ones to bring him down. Green, very strong dual threat quarterback. Haven't mentioned his rushing ability yet tonight.
Yeah, he has a couple hundred yards rushing alongside Lanier. Mentioned earlier that this Lions team has a few 100-yard rushers. It makes them so difficult to game plan for a defense.
4th and 3, Lions go for it. They got awfully close. An initial look, Latif, I don't think that he got it.
We got to see what the referee is saying. Nope, he didn't get it.
He did not, so Bloomington will take over.
Huge stop for them, huge stop. They were definitely reeling right there in the red zone. So to get a huge stop right there, keep the game a one-score game is definitely big for the offense. Their defense has been rewarding them time after time after time tonight so far in this game. It's on the offense on this drive to at least get this to a one-point game and reward the defense for their hard work, because I've seen enough of these Peoria High games too, and you get them too many chances, it's going to get dark very soon.
Yeah, we've seen Peoria High put up lots of points. They seem like they score more at home. We don't know the official numbers, but it seems like whenever they're here on this home turf, they put up lots of points. 1st and 10 from the 21. Lorenz Higgins, big blocker in motion. And a dive up the middle there from Lanier for about 7 yards. Take a look at Bloomington's high school's head coach, Niall Mulcahy. Also like Aaron Montgomery in his first year, and like his counterpart, also 6-1. He's an alumnus of Fenwick High School, who many of you recalled earlier, ranked in the Class 6A poll right now. So maybe he gets to see his former high school team in the playoffs. You never know. Also played at Illinois Wesleyan in college.
And I think the Purple Raiders need to try to open up this passing game and test these cornerbacks. They're in man. They're daring you to. And they just keep running the ball.
Right away, Dorsey Doss diagnosed it like a doctor and brought him down as soon as he got the ball.
Yep, and this offense just hasn't been able to get on schedule. They've been in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 13 every drive, and it's hard to do that against a tough defense that's been clicking like Peoria has, basically shutting out teams the last 2 weeks. You can't get into situations like that as an offense.
Definitely, Peoria High's defense has been so stellar these last 3 weeks. They started out giving up a good amount of points per game, but the last 3, they've only allowed 9 points per game. 3rd and 9, Condren in some trouble. He's going down. Cam Peterson and the doctor, Dorsey Doss, brought him down.
And I don't know how much I like that play call. You definitely need something right there that was quickly developing. The Lions showed blitz, and you know where they were coming on 3rd and 9, deep in your own territory. Would like to see something that was more quickly developing. They had 2 routes right there going down the field, and they just didn't have enough time to execute.
I think Peoria High has won the battle of the line of scrimmage so far tonight. Punt is away, bounces at the 39, takes a Bloomington roll into Peoria High territory at the 48, where they will take over, and we will get to see again Peoria High's such dynamic quarterback. You know, back in the day, there was Neon Deion Sanders. We'll introduce you to Neon Breon. He's led an offense that's accumulated nearly 4,000 yards, 48 touchdowns. Did a lot of work with their QB coach, veteran Dan Fauser. And his head coach said that even though he can run the ball, he's not just an athlete. He's very smart, loves the game, big student of the game as well.
And I think we saw that on that last drive with that quick pass, that quick strike over the middle of the field was definitely showing that he is not just an athlete.
Round up the middle. Out to about the 45, gain of about 7. And that was Green on the keeper. Came in tonight with a shade over 400 rushing yards and nearly 10 yards per carry. Very quick moving game here at Peoria Stadium. Handoff goes to Pollard before he is brought down by a couple Purple Raiders.
And they are in this 3rd and short to go. We could see a shot here. They have been playing like almost in 4th down territory every single drive, so we could anticipate a shot.
Flag before the snap. And referees will convene right at about midfield and on the new turf here at Peoria Stadium. Not brand new. Its first season was last year, but part of lots of renovations they've done to this place. False start on Peoria High. But you can definitely tell the improvements they've made, Latif. The visiting bleachers, which we're in right now, have been renovated. New paint jobs, the turf itself, the new lighting system. We saw that light show earlier, plus the new video board as well.
Definitely major improvements from the first time I've been to the stadium. Man, they deserve it. They're one of the best teams in the state year in, year out. You want to reward your players, your fans, for coming out and support a team like this with some improvements to the stadium, and they've done that.
And it's not just Peoria High that uses this facility. As Pollard gets up close to the first down marker, gets up another 4th and short. Manual also calls Peoria Stadium home. It's used for a variety of other events too. Girls flag football, first year, play their home games here. Pollard, a run up the middle. He's free. Gardner chases him. He's not going to catch him. 4th and 1. Pollard says, I'll take it all 43 yards.
And I know the quarterback is not going to get any credit for that play in this stat sheet, but because of his dual threat ability, I don't know if you saw how many edges gave him attention and opened up that running lane for Pollard right there. Obviously a great run by Pollard, explosive play, but some of those things just don't go on the stat sheet, and I saw that.
Pollard has been doing so much of his damage just running right into the teeth, kind of those gaps between the 0 and the 1, those A gaps. And a pass on the 2-point conversion is incomplete. There was some contact there, and a late flag comes down. I'll see what this is about. Hopefully no extracurriculars involved. Maybe something was said. But either way, it's 14-0 Peoria High with the lead right now. And again, now you give up that score. Now it becomes, again, you got lots of time to play, but nearly imperative for Bloomington to get a counter punch.
Definitely. You need to score before this half because you did elect to get the ball first. You don't want to give the Lions a chance to double dip before the half is over. So if I'm the Purple Raiders, I'm trying to not only be effective on this drive, but also take some time out of the clock and don't give the Lions a chance to double dip after halftime. But again, your defense is making plays. They obviously gave a touchdown on that drive. Looked a little fatigued. The linebackers did not engage in the second level at all on that play. So you have to gain some momentum right now. You definitely can't go on a 3-and-out or a short drive on this play.
Definitely cannot. That scoring drive brought to you again by Papa John's. Second one of the night for Peoria High. And as one of our broadcasters, Dalton Carr, meets it earlier, hey, second scoring drive, now Peoria High can make it a 2-topping pizza over there at Papa John's. Boy, some warm pizza sounds pretty good right now. It's, again, a little bit of a chilly night here in Peoria. One of the colder ones that we've experienced so far this year. Kickoff fielded at the 35, and a fair catch by Jordan Norton, one of 3 musketeers of the Bloomington wide receiver room. All 3 very talented. I asked Niall Mulcahy, what did each of them kind of bring to the table, all having good years. Keontae Hamilton, their leading receiver from last year, he's kind of just that very slippery guy. You got Jordan Norton, very fast, downfield threat. And you got Carter Tyndall, who's almost kind of like a Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey type receiver, very big-bodied and very athletic as well.
And they haven't used many of their 3 musketeers today, have been running the ball a lot and have not been testing these Peoria defensive back. And I know they're very, very good. They're very actually elite. And you have this wide receiver trio, you definitely have to get them involved on other stuff besides like jet sweeps and stuff like that.
Cadron from the 35, backpedaling. It's a screen pass. Kenner by. And a hard hit there. Julian Lowe brought him down. It looked like the way that Bai was running, it appeared like he was going to pick up a big gain, but Cadron had to retreat so far that he only gained about a yard or two when it was all said and done.
I do think it's a positive play, though, because Peoria has been man blitzing, using cover one a lot tonight, and when you're able to get plays like screens in the flat, it opens up your offense a little bit. At this point, they just need to get rhythm. And so a positive play, 2, 3, 4 yards can jumpstart this offense.
See if Bloomington can make it at least a third and manageable. Handoff to Lanier, bursts through the seams. He's got the first down right there. One of a couple of good runs that he has had tonight. Imagine those Bloomington wide receivers. Last time we saw them, Jordan Norton had a career game with 6 receptions for 117 yards plus a touchdown against Normal Community back in Week 6.
And it's been all Lanier's shoulders so far tonight. Has had a couple good runs. But he needs some help for us from some other players on his offense to open up his game even more.
Lorenz Higgins moves over to help block. Cotter will pass to Tyndall on the slant route. And there's the flag.
That was definitely pass interference right there. He kind of held him on his waist right there. And that could have been a big play as well because didn't like they had a safety over the top. He catches that, breaks one tackle. Could have been to the house on that play.
Guilty party there, Melvin Jenkins, junior cornerback for Peoria High, also a very fast track runner for them. And they'll give Bloomington some free yardage on that play. And like I said, that's really about all he could do. I mean, it was you give him some yards, but you do save potentially the touchdown.
Smart play. When you frame like that, it's kind of a smart play there from the DB, especially against an offense that hasn't been able to get it going tonight. It could be a drive saver for the defense.
So Bloomington now on the Peoria High 39. This is about as deep in Lion territory as they've gotten so far tonight. Tyndall at the bottom of your screen and Hamilton, the receiver, at the top. Instead, it'll be another give to Lanier. And again, Peoria High's defense just all over the place as Taylon Jordan was in there yet again. Alongside Kendrick Owens.
He's having himself a night so far, and the Peoria defense line is having themselves a night so far. Been dominating trenches on both sides of the ball, honestly, and really messing up this offense because Bloomington is a balanced team, but they do go run first and to open up their passing game.
And again, going back to that key that Aaron Montgomery said, we want to eliminate the run game, and Lanier's had some good runs tonight. He will have some. But overall, a nice job. It's the end around to Arion Jones, a speedy playmaker. He shakes the tackle. He's still going. Arion Jones, 40 yards for 6. What a run.
Just the type of play the Pepper Raiders needed to get back in this game. What a great run. What a great vision. And he broke a couple of tackles. Couldn't get these wide receivers involved in the passing game. Do it a little end around. Get your playmakers the ball and in space. Again, Peoria's going to run this man defense, press defense. It's really hard for defensive backs to get to the edge and for these defensive ends to set the edge in high school. So those plays can be very lethal against a defense like this.
So much done by the tackles there. Justin Robinson, David Williams, plus a couple wide receivers helping pave the way for that 40-yard touchdown run by the electrifying Arion Jones. Bloomington going to go for 2. It's a direct snap to Kenner By, and he is in. So Bloomington gives Peoria High a taste of their own medicine. A special little kind of trickery play call, a 2-point conversion, and they're right back within 1 score.
Great way to sprung right there. Had them getting going in all night. They stayed true to themselves. Continued to run the ball. Passing game wasn't working and got the end around for the score. Now it's time for their defense to make another big stop. 5 minutes left. This is one of the most important possessions of the game. You can stop them right now before they go into halftime. You can take momentum into halftime.
Certainly, as that scoring drive again brought to you by Papa John's. I want to thank them and all the rest of our sponsors tonight, also including the Jansen Law Center NECA, Strong Law Avantes, Michael's Italian Feast, and Jolive Glass. I want to thank them all for their support of high school athletics in Central Illinois. And coming up at halftime, we'll have the Bob Grimm Chevrolet halftime show. We'll get a little listen into our latest episode of the In the Clutch podcast, as well as we're hoping that Brian Dunphy, athletic director for Peoria High, is going to stop by and pay us a visit, talking about a big thing coming up for him these next couple of weeks as Peoria High takes over at the 25. And for Peoria High this year, Latif, they have won some close games. They've also run some runaways as well. It's kind of been hit or miss. It's either been runaways or photo finishes. See, they've had 4 wins by 35 or more points. They've been blowing out the last 2 opponents, Richwoods and Champaign Central. But they've also had some very close games, too, as well, and Gerald Jenkins has helped them win 2 of them. As Green runs out of the pocket into the Bloomington sideline, picks up about 7 or 8.
Well, when you have games like that, I do think it's, close wins and then dominant wins. You definitely don't want to blow everybody out for the entire season. As crazy as that sounds, because you don't have much of a feel for adversity or being tested. But in the conference they're in, they're going to have a lot of close games. And a fumble.
Ball is out, and there is a flag down as well. Bloomington indicating they have it, and look who it is. It's Kenyatta Gardner, his second takeaway of the night. We'll see what this flag is about, but I assume this may stay with Bloomington, Latif.
And Gardner has been wrecking games for this entire season. Last week had a couple tackles, pass breakups, interceptions. And this week, 2 turnovers. Game-changing play for the Purple Raiders.
Wow, so they get the score and they get the turnover. Ball is back at the 32-yard line. And just like that, the pendulum has swung big time in Bloomington's direction as Peoria High will take a timeout and perhaps just kind of calm things down a little bit. That first quarter was all Peoria High, but Bloomington kind of dominating this second frame.
And you got to think about a great timeout right there from the Lions. Have lost momentum. Your crowd is deadly silent over there. And now the Purple Raiders are in the red zone, knocking on the door of tying this game up. But thankfully, you do have a lot of time left in this second quarter.
And we were talking about, Peoria High facing adversity. And after that loss to Normal West, Aaron Montgomery, their head coach, was very impressed with the team's leaders and how they were able to respond. He said that the guys held themselves accountable and that they have been locked in ever since. There was a back-to-the-drawing board mentality. That was one of the first things they said when they got back in the locker room after that loss. And since then, that dedication has been paying off. Well, their defense will have to stand tall. Cotter and airing out a deep ball down the sideline. Is there going to be a flag there? I don't see one, Latif. There was lots of contact.
I think that was pretty great coverage right there from the DB. Definitely got his head turned, which you'd like to see that. Don't want to run into the receiver. Got his head turned, and they were fighting. Good no call from the rest right there. But great to see a shot right there from the Purple Raiders. They've been pretty conservative with their passing game so far after that interception. And to see them air it out right there, it shows a sign of what they might become for them for the rest of this game.
That was Kendall Netters in coverage. Normally makes his name note as a running back, but also playing some DB as well at 2nd and 10 from the 32. Jones in motion. It's a pitch out to Lanier. Bounces off of Jones, cuts it back to the left, and there goes Lanier. Bloomington ties it up. Lanier in for touchdown number 16 on the ground this season.
And I think the most impressive thing about him in that play was his vision to cut it back, made a great cut, had one defender to beat, breezed by him, and then walked scot-free into the end zone. What a way to respond after going down 14-0. You do not want to go down 14-0 to the Lions. And now, about 3 minutes later, they have the game tied up.
Purple Raiders making a statement here on the road. Flags fly and whistles blow before this play gets started. Phenomenal response from the Purple Raiders, who it's a false start for Peoria High. But again, we mentioned those first quarters have been when they've done their damage, but this has maybe been one of their best second quarters of the entire season.
Yep. When I said earlier, it takes some time to get adjusted, but when they do, they start to roll. And we're kind of seeing that so far. 14 unanswered points with the possibility of making it 16.
So this 2-point conversion will come from the 6-yard line. They won't bring out Brosh Tadakian for the PAT. Codron is looking to throw, going for the back corner, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Keontae Hamilton, his top receiver. So 14 all with 4:46 to go here in the second quarter. As scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. And Latif, now we get to see how is Peoria High going to respond to that adversity. It's a good thing they played in those close games earlier.
No, it definitely is. You had that experience, but uncharacteristic turnovers from this team, from this offense. Haven't turned the ball off a ton, but I do want to say over the years, though, they kind of do sometimes turn the ball over a lot in games like this because of how fast their offense is going. And we know that tires out the defense, but it also tires out the offense, especially the running game, when you're constantly carrying the ball, taking hits. And so we see the fumble like that on the last possession. So it's going to be good for them to have a little bit of rest. They called a timeout to regroup, and let's see how they respond before the half is over.
They played the clock right. They could bleed it out until the end of the second quarter. Been going pretty fast here today, but a very fast-moving game. It's only been about 45 minutes since kickoff, and we're staring down halftime. Coming up not too far away. Peoria High can't recover the kick. Here's Jenkins dancing across the 15. He won't get much further. Dives up to about the 19 before he's wrapped up by Bloomington special teamers.
Great job right there for the special teams to make sure they do not get good field position. They've had good field position literally almost every drive of the night so far. So that's the first step for your defense, to get them off the field.
And for Peoria High, we talked about some of their key, I should say Bloomington's key receivers earlier. That 3 Musketeers, Peoria High. We'll see if they go to TQ Webb much on this drive. And that was a short gain right there. And TQ Webb, and a player that we've been accustomed to seeing quite a bit over the years. He's a third-year starter and all-conference player for them.
No, I was thinking that. I mean, since I've been here with Clutch, it feels like since his freshman year, he's been an integral part of this offense, and it's been increasing every year. Like his freshman year, he was the third wide receiver in a loaded wide receiver team, and now he's a veteran, and he's one of the best receivers in the conference.
That pass is batted at the line and falls down. No one, linemen for either side, seemed to know where the ball was. Just kind of fell in between all of them. And it'll force a 3rd and 11 from their own 18. Lions offense has hit a wall here in the second quarter. 3 wide receivers set here for Green. It's 2 men in the backfield. It'll be a pass. Robinson coming off the edge. His pass is tipped away by Kenner Bai. Chalk that up as a PBU.
And I wonder, did he think that was man right there? They kind of disguised that. Looked more like a cover 2. And he was trying to hit the receiver over the middle of the field. But that was covered by the linebacker. The safety over the top had no chance of connecting with the receiver right there.
By the first team all-conference linebacker, making a big play there on 3rd. Now on 4th, Peoria will punt it. Little pooch kick from Green that gets some good hang time. And stops at the Bloomington 48. 34-yard punt, and Latif, I can hear the Bloomington sideline through my headphones. They are extremely pumped up right now.
And you got to be. Had a demoralizing start to the game, but they're a talented team. They're used to this. They're experienced. And so what a way to respond. They have completely dominated this game. I kind of want to see why the Lions haven't leaned on that running game. It's been so dangerous and so unstoppable in this game. They opened up the pass more so far in this second quarter, and it's kind of come back to bite them.
See if the Purple Raiders elect to pass or keep things grounded here for the final 3:41. Lanier cuts it back, just like he did on the last one. He's still up on his feet. Some flags down. Picked up about 6 yards there. And Lanier looks a bit shaken up, but gets back up all right. This is going to come back, I think, Latif.
Yeah, probably was a holding, and that's unfortunate because that was a great effort from Lanier right there, breaking multiple tackles. And that's very hard to do against this defensive front from the Lions. Kind of want to reward your running back right there for making that great effort.
And, Pollard and Lanier have both looked pretty similar tonight. Pollard maybe a little bit faster, but both of them just being able to fight through contact. That's what I've seen the most of them tonight. When you get a hand on him, it's going to take more than one guy to bring him down.
I think one of the most underrated part of running backs is probably their contact balance. We talk about their speed, their athleticism, and their vision a lot, but their ability to stay upright after taking those hits is traits that both these running backs have.
Codron will hand it off here to Lanier, right up the gut for a good gain, up to the 45. Lanier's got an offer from Millikin University down in Decatur. And perhaps that list could grow even more as his senior year goes along. Definitely a player that could help out a lot of area college football teams.
Yeah, and I think after his season, he may look offers from a bit more outside of, just D2 schools. A talented back, can catch the ball out the backfield as well, and has good size. So if he continues this season, could definitely see some more offers.
Arion Jones jets across midfield. Makes it a 3rd and about 7 or so. Jones has been a very fun player to watch for Bloomington this year, just a sophomore. He's returned a kick for a touchdown and had some other very big plays this season, again, including that 40-yard touchdown run for Bloomington's first score. Big 3rd and 7 here. 2 minutes left to go in quarter number 2. Second place in the Big 12 again on the line here tonight. Codron looking long, going for Tyndall, his big receiver. He's got him. What a big gain on 3rd down.
What a great adjustment right there, turning his body, tracking the ball. That's very rare to see from a lot of high school wide receivers. He uses his body to fend off the defender and then track the ball. And a great delivery over his back shoulder away from the defense right there, especially when the Lions have these talented DBs on this roster. I think I predicted 28-35 before this game started, and we're almost on pace.
I think we could be well over those scoring marks by the end of tonight. Lanier up the middle. And he gets a rude greeting by the Lions defensive line. Bloomington letting this clock run. They got all 3 timeouts left, keeping them in their back pocket for now. Second and 9 now from the 23 with under a minute to play. 3 wide receivers for Codron. Looking left side this time. He's got Hamilton on the slant. Good tackle by Netter. Saves a potential touchdown, but a gain of about 8 right there on 2nd and 9.
And that's some of the quickly developing routes I wanted to see. Slants, screens, comebacks, stuff that can get your quarterback in a rhythm and going, because the defensive front has been elite tonight. They've been able to get to the quarterback and stop the run in some occasions. So it looks like these scoring drives have got their offense and quarterback a little bit more comfortable to throw the ball.
They certainly have. And Hamilton, you don't want to let him get away in the open field. Again, we talked about him. He's so slippery. It's kind of the characteristic of him. Niall Mulcahy said that no one's been able to lay a big hit on him at all this year because he's just so fast and shifty. He's not a big wide receiver. Latifi's only 5'8" and 140 pounds. Also, Arion Jones, only 5'8", 145. So not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Not about their size, but they're very, very explosive and have a lot of speed, and that's why we've seen them getting the ball in the rounds and on quick routes and getting the ball to the playmaker quickly and letting them do the rest.
From the 14-yard line, Cotter now steps back, airing it out, back corner, Tyndall. Would have been an acrobatic grab. Is that a flag down to the end zone? I see it could be.
Definitely pass interference. The defender did not turn his head and ran right into the receiver. They're taught, the receivers are, to just stop a little bit short, let the defender run into you, and because they didn't turn their head, you get the pass interference call.
And that one may have gone on Jenkins, which is his second PI call tonight. And in inches, Bloomington a bit closer to that end zone, which they've already found twice here in the second frame. Also resets it to first down. There's some confusion in the chain gang right now. So looks like it's going to be a first and short. Didn't have that on the bingo card tonight for Bloomington. Cotter looking the way of Hamilton, spins away, gets down to about the 4-yard line, but Netters had a good beat on him.
Definitely great coverage right there. Way to not miss a tackle. That could have been dangerous. The clock is running down. 4 down territory for the Purple Raiders. And I see the Lions defense can't hold up.
Actually ran out of bounds at about the 6 is where they marked him.
Already giving up more points than they have in the last 2 or 3 games tonight so far in the first half. But to be expected when you are playing a lot better competition than you played in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Certainly, this is one of the biggest tests remaining for both teams. Lanier bounces it to the outside, but he's getting wrapped up by a pack of Lions. Julian Lowe, the sophomore, was in there.
And I was sure he's going to score after that block that he received from the 2 wide receivers right there. Well, great way to find the ball and rally to it. Impressive show of perseverance right here from the Lions, backed up in their own territory with the clock winding down.
So Bloomington will burn the second of their 3 timeouts with 21 seconds to go. And they still do have to get the first down, which is about the 3 or 4 yard line. Yeah, we have not seen Brosh Dadakian tonight at all, but you figure if you're this close, you don't want to get 3, but if you have no other option, 3 points before the half gives you the lead, gives you some momentum. We saw last week, Latif, now you weren't there, but at Washington, Devin Miller of the Panthers hit a school record long 52-yarder and gave the Panthers tons of momentum heading into halftime, and then they came out and rolled in half number 2, so 3 points can make a big difference.
52 yarders, that's definitely long for a high schooler. I don't know if I've ever seen a field goal that long in my time watching high school football. When you get it that distance, teams just almost just punch it and go for it.
3rd and 1 now from the 6. Cotter going back corner again to Tyndall. And they throw another flag. It's going to be another pass interference on Peoria High. That man-to-man defense has just been a bit too physical tonight. And another flag comes in after the play. We'll see what this is about. Looks like Demarion Zapata was unhappy with our Zebras.
I think on that play he held his hand and didn't allow him to separate and go and get that fade ball, and then maybe after the play talk to the ref. Costly penalties here, especially being this close to the goal line. Definitely don't want that, and possibly could spill into the second half.
We'll see what all these are. We're pretty sure it's probably going to be something to the tune of pass interference and unsportsmanlike conduct potentially for that second one. Here's the call. Here's the pass interference. And, yep, there's the unsportsmanlike conduct as well. So that will put the ball at the 1 yard line for Bloomington. They'll have 3 cracks at it. With 16 seconds left to go here before halftime. 2 men in the backfield. Cadron hands it off. Kenner by gives Bloomington the lead.
Great run from right there. Great way to snatch momentum. We talked about this before half. If they could stop them from double dipping because they got the ball first, they did even more. They ran up the score in the second quarter, completely dominated this quarter, completely had the momentum on the road against one of the best teams in the nation, in the state. Got carried away there.
Probably not too far off. I think Peoria High could probably beat some of the best teams from Ohio or Texas. Maybe Texas is a different breed.
No.
That would be fun, though, to see Peoria High maybe facing like Duncanville or, I don't know, Santa Ana Mater Dei from California, something like that.
I think East St. Louis played IMG not too long ago.
They will play in week 9.
Okay, yeah.
That will be a good one, as the 2-point conversion by Purple Raiders is no good to keep it a 6-point game.
I feel like if any team from Illinois can really compete with those nationally ranked programs, it's going to be East St. Louis. I think they're hovering around 25 in the nation right now.
Our broadcast plans for next week are admittedly still up in the air. I want to see who wins and loses tonight. Maybe we'll have to see. Maybe it's not too late to make a play for that game. I'm not sure if it's in East St. Louis or IMG.
But it's in IMG, I think.
Yeah. Hey,
road trip.
Yeah, get on the plane, head down to Florida. That doesn't sound too bad right now. But what a second quarter from Bloomington, and assuming Peoria High doesn't have any big plays or theatrics in store, it's going to be all Purple Raiders heading into the locker room. And, Latif, what's the message, do you think, right now in that Lions locker room right now?
It's definitely just, stay calm, stay patient. You were controlling this game. I think you take some of the things that you were doing well. You were dominating the line of scrimmage. You were stopping the run. And you were on the offensive side of the ball, running the ball really well, protecting the ball, not turning it over when you were being successful. So just pinpoint exactly what was working when you had that 14-0 lead.
Squibber here from Bloomington is barely picked up by Jenkins. And he is wrestled down at the 21. Looked like that was Jamari Sutton, number 13 for Bloomington. Nice tackle there. So maybe time for a quick hitter. Call a timeout. Maybe set up something.
I'm definitely not doing that. I'm going to just nail that. Your offense hasn't been working in a bit wild. Basically, this whole quarter have been turning the ball over. Don't want to risk anything right here with how the Purple Raiders defense is played in the second quarter.
See if Bloomington has 2 deep safeties, and they do. It's just a run up the middle for the Lions. And that will do it for the second quarter. Bloomington was down 14-zip, but have scored 20 unanswered and carry all the momentum on the road as the number 10 team in Class 6A, looking to take down number 4 in Class 5A. Latif, any overall thoughts from that first half that moved by very quick?
Definitely a quick game. Both teams they're running the ball a lot, so the time is going by, not taking a lot of timeouts. I'm very, very impressed with the Lions' defense, especially show of perseverance, because their offense wasn't rewarding them in that first quarter at all, and they stayed pat. They stayed disciplined and composed, and now once their offense got going, they were able to continue their domination. For the Lions, they did some things well. It's only a 6-point game. Definitely still game by every stretch of the imagination. They ran the ball really well, but their offense just turned the ball over too much, and they got a little bit rattled. So looking for their head coach to settle them down. They have the fans on their side. They just have to make one big play, get the momentum back on their side, and then they can have a chance to win this one.
Again, got to be those home run hitters, like we said, and our keys to the game. Bloomington retreats into the darkness to talk things over. Peoria High heads to the sanctity of their locker room. We'll step aside here in our WMBD Game of the Week here from Peoria Stadium and be right back with the Bob Grimm Chevrolet Halftime Show right after this.
Your foundation could be closer to collapsing than you realize, leaving you displaced from your home and with costly repairs. Force Basements are your foundation experts, providing all solutions for your foundation. We offer several repair options to prevent a collapse and rebuild services if it has collapsed. When picking a foundation expert, it's important they offer both repairs and rebuilds. You're not a foundation expert if you can't rebuild one. Call 309-834-1769 today.
Taste the tradition of Avanti's on the go. With Avanti's fast carryout, you can taste the tradition at the basketball court. Enjoy a handcrafted pizza with toppings you love. Taste the tradition at the pickleball court. Fill up with a fresh gondola. Taste the tradition at the park. Indulge in your favorite pastas. The possibilities are endless. Call or order online today to taste the tradition of Avanti's on the go.
The home of the gondola, Avanti's.
Family banking from a name you trust. Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High quality banking services delivered by caring professionals. People just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks. Divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
Here at Peoria Stadium for the Bob Grimm Chevrolet Halftime Show. We're joined by a special guest in the booth, Brian Dunphy, the athletic director from Peoria High. Brian, appreciate you stopping by. Always good to be back here at Peoria Stadium to see the Lions. Overall, how have you been over the last couple of weeks?
Fantastic, Jonathan. And Peoria High fall sports are the best time of year.
Definitely. It's always a fun time to see the Lions football team again. State ranked and having another fantastic season. Looking forward to another playoff run from Peoria High as well. And overall, I know the football team is obviously a huge part of pride for this school. So many people come out and support it. So many players year in and year out. New head coach too as well with Aaron Montgomery. Overall, just what has it been like? I know bringing on a new head coach, and I know I've been able to meet him a couple of times, and it seems like everything is going smoothly, at least from the outside.
The transition from Coach Thornton to Coach Montgomery couldn't have gone better, and I attribute that to a lot of the assistants coming back and working under Coach Montgomery. You can't take those things for granted that a new head coach is going to be accepted like that, but it's been a tremendous family of coaches at Peoria High.
And there definitely has, and that's what kind of the secret to good coaching is. Every coach in the area has told me, hey, I have a great crew of assistants, and Peoria High has a great crew of assistants as well. One of the largest coaching staffs around, if I'm not mistaken. But Brian, shifting the gears here a little bit, I know obviously we're in a football game, we're talking football, but I know it's mid to late October, big time for playoffs and other sports, including cross country. And obviously state finals will be at Detweiler Park yet again, and you'll be back as the race director, right?
That's right. Peoria High is going to host the state cross-country meet for the 54th consecutive year, Detweiler Park. This year the race is Saturday, November 9, with the first race kicking off at 9, the last race at 2.
Definitely. It's always a fun time. I went there for the first time last year. I had a ball. I hadn't really been to many cross-country meets, but boy, it was just tons of fun. Seeing a lot of the fans. One of the things I will always remember is the group of fans after they would start on one side of the big field. They'd see them all run off, and then they'd run and sprint, carrying these big flags to the other side of the field. What is it like just seeing all the fanfare and everyone is pouring in and supporting each year? Because that was tons of fun, at least for me.
The last handful of years since COVID, the estimated crowds have been over 25,000 spectators. It's more than a day in the park. As I tell people, it's the only sport where we have to build the arena every year. You know, we show up for a football game, and this beautiful Peoria Stadium is here waiting for us. Cross country starts with fence posts and lots of paint.
Yeah, lots of hammering posts into the ground by hand. I know you have a big crew of volunteers. How many volunteers about do you have each and every year, and what kind of areas do they all work in?
The day itself is loaded with workers and volunteers, but the real work starts around Halloween this year with about 4 of us. And if you know cross country, the legends all come out for the hard work.
Yep.
So Bob LaCroix, Sean Stever, Mike Lawless, Dave Poles, and I start with those first 600 fence posts, and it all gets easier after that's in the ground.
Definitely does. And I know putting together a race like that where you have, again, all classes for both boys and girls, the city's population nearly jumps up by 25% an entire day, and they're all in one place. Just so many people, so many things to do. When does this all kind of start for you, the preparations?
It really runs year-round, and as I said, that first post usually goes in the ground about 10 or 11 days before the race. And it really takes that long to get everything set and situated. And then I have my day job, too, because the Lions are probably looking at the playoffs and sectionals for soccer and volleyball and preparing for the winter season, which is going to be fabulous again at Peoria High this year. So it's a year-round love, and I check in with people regularly. What I love to tell people is that there's barely a group at Peoria High that does not participate in cross country in some way. The cheerleaders run concessions. The boys and girls basketball team, the volleyball team, the student council, they all work parking. The cross country team is the hydration team. The administration team handles all of the awards. Our SROs are all over the park. It's really a school-wide activity.
Definitely, and overall, Brian, this last question for you. Overall, what's your favorite part of I know it's a lot of hard work. What's your favorite part of this role as the beat manager?
Oh, boy, my favorite role.
Favorite part of the job?
I think it's just being part of the cross-country tradition. And to be honest, if you know me, I'm a lot better with a shovel than I am a microphone. So I like being out in the park and pounding those fence posts. And getting out and working and just seeing the progress from start to finish, from that first post in the ground to the last post in the last tent coming down at the end of Saturday evening. It's an absolute joy and a privilege to be a part of it.
Definitely. Well, it's all set up to be another great race. Look forward to hopefully being out there again, unless playoff football has any other ideas. But again, usually start out the day with cross country, then you make the jaunt over and cover a playoff football game. It should be a fun day. Definitely encourage anyone around Peoria and around Central Illinois, even if you're not a cross country fan, it's quite the sight and lots of fun as well. Brian, I want to thank you for hopping in the booth with us. Again, pretty good with a microphone if I do say so myself, so that means you got to be really good with a shovel then. So, Brian, again, appreciate it. We'll come right back after this. Again, it's Bloomington 20, Peoria High 14 from Peoria Stadium on CIProud.com.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Eclipse Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams.
Your stories. Your stats and standings.
Your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts. As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds. CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action, more stories,
more coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine-washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
From the very beginning, she was my support, my cheerleader, always giving me the best she could. Now it's my time to find the best for her, and that started with a call to Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group. Their lifestyle transition experts became part of our family, working with us to find the right fit for Mom, making sure she was ready, and getting her excited for her new home. Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group, the key piece to your puzzle.
Passionate, focused, strong, qualities that you look for in a great athlete, and also a great lawyer. At Strong Law Offices, injury law is at the heart of what we do. Our team is on your side. When the game is on the line, let us tackle your claim.
That mountain of boxes won't pack itself, but Peoria Production Solutions will. Let us handle your packaging and assembly. Our highly trained team uses computerized inventory control and specialized equipment to ensure your customers receive their items on time. Let us help you grow and scale your business. Give us a call or visit peoriapros.com for a quote today.
And welcome back here to Peoria Stadium. The Lions, the hosts, are trailing 20-14 to the Purple Raiders of Bloomington right now. Again, Week 8, big week of football. Again, Jonathan Michael, Latif Love here in the booth. And Latif, let's take a look at some scores from around the area right now. Our small town throwdown game, which our Owen Dimful is on the call for, sees Tri-Valley up 22-6 on undefeated Eureka right now. So want to keep an eye and can listen to that game at clutchsportsil.com. Dunlap and Morton tied at 14. That's a huge game in the Mid-Illini. Norwood Community got big on Centennial and DMAC. A big game with Clinton. Chiefs are trying to get 2 straight wins to stay playoff eligible.
Bunch of big games going on right now. As it comes closer to playoff time, these are meaning a lot more. So these teams are locked in. Dunlap and Morton, 14-14, not surprised with that. 2 great teams in the Mid-Illini.
That is a huge game for both teams because Dunlap looking to bounce back from a loss to Washington last week. Morton needs to win out to make it to the playoffs, at least most likely, unless they sneak in at 4-5. Only a couple of teams, though, can do that. So that was a big one to keep an eye on. Again, our John Camosa covering that game. You can follow him along at Twitter. JCOM91, and he's got the score updates. Other scores from around the area. Another area undefeated is on the ropes at halftime. Rushville Industry up 22-7 on Princeville right now. The Princes had just beaten Stark County, state-ranked Class 1A team last week, but are trailing at halftime on the road this week. Other scores from around the area include El Paso Gridley up 28-5 on Tremont. Leroy up 14-6 on Gibson City, Melvin Sibley. That's a big game. And we talked earlier about some national powers coming to Peoria, playing area teams. And one is actually them is in town here tonight. Christian Brothers from St. Louis, Missouri, visiting P&D right now. And CBC is up 27-14 in that game. Normal U High up on Springfield Southeast, 27-6. And Fieldcrest trailing 7-zip to Tuscola. Washington up big on Canton 28-0, and Pekin up 28-7 on Limestone right now. And you can catch all the scores and recaps, highlights, top performers, and our daily roundups, which we'll have for you bright and early tomorrow morning as well. So subscribe to CSM Overtime for that. Let's see, hard to believe we're knocking on the door of the playoffs already.
It's hard for me to believe that Morton is sitting in the position they are. I had a very high expectations for Coach Adam O'Neill and the Potters. Definitely surprised. I know they had a quarterback change this year, possibly affecting their play, but thought they would have a stout defense. Thought they have a really good running game with Shondon over there. So I'm very surprised that they have relapsed a little bit, and it's been hard for them to find consistency over the years. They'll have a year where they go 8-1 or 7-2 or something like that, and then the next year they kind of fall back to that middle of the pack type of thing. So looking for them to establish some type of consistency as a program with Coach O'Neill.
Adam O'Neill, former coach at Peoria High with Tim Thornton, then went down to Manhattan, Kansas, won a state championship down there, and took the Potters to a very strong year last year where they went, I believe, 7-2 in the regular season, if memory serves me correct. But again, Morton's still a very good team despite what their record says, and a win against Dunlap would go a long way and I think impress a lot of people. They got a game against Washington next week, again, that we certainly have our eye on too.
Definitely will be a game to monitor to see if Morton could upset Washington with how good they've been as of late. Definitely, I would say, probably a candidate for us to go out there and call a game.
Definitely, and also another big game next week. These Peoria High Lions will face Normal Community, and if Peoria High can win tonight, they would go into that game with a chance of winning the Big 12 Conference. Although if they lose tonight or if Normal Community wins next week, then the conference title will go to the Ironmen, who have been putting together a strong season again at 6-1. Only losses to Kankakee, number 4 in Class 6A right now. That's also a very good Case team that destroyed Washington in Week 2.
If my memory serves me right, I think I was either at or called one of those games earlier this year with Kankakee. I may be mistaken, but yeah, Normal Community have been great back-to-back years. They've been a force to be reckoned with.
Look at TQ Webb getting creative. Going to the right side now, cutting it back, still on his feet, flag down. But how about that return from TQ Webb? One of the first kick returns we've seen from either team here tonight.
Blindside block. I saw it in real time. Yeah, they're definitely coming back. Either blindside block or blocking the back.
Still love the awareness and creativity and the speed from TQ Webb. He looked almost dead to rights, but still bounced it outside and picked up about 40 more yards. But it will be coming back just a bit. And Peoria High getting the ball first, chance to respond and perhaps put that tough second quarter behind them. Again, in case you're just tuning in, Bloomington outscored the Lions 20-0 in that second quarter after Peoria High got on the board with touchdowns from DeTorian Pollard. First and 10 from the 43. They go back to Pollard, and he's swarmed just before midfield. I like to see him go with Pollard a bit more here in this third quarter, because it was working for them early on.
Definitely was working really, really well. The running game, they were dominating both sides of the line of scrimmage in the first quarter. And I think with having TQ back there on that return, the theme of this second half for the Lions is they're going to be getting the ball in their best players' hands to come back in this game.
Good news is they have lots of options as Pollard picks up the first down before he's brought down by Gardner. So you hear the PA announcer call out 1, 2, 3, first down. That's a new one. Haven't heard that one before. Lions sideline, or I should say Bloomington sideline. Yelling, trying to make it hard on the Lions. And a defensive stand there as Lorenz, Higgins, and Justin Robinson combined for the stop. Halftime score update from Morton. The Potters now leading Dunlap 20-14 at the break. Another give right up the middle to Pollard. Not much counter or sweep plays by Peoria High. It's a lot of just kind of that halfback power. There's some speed plays right up the middle.
Well, they're attacking the interior of this Purple Raiders defensive line. I think the strength of their defense is on the outside with these safeties, with these linebackers, able to make plays, and so they're just going straight into the middle. And also, I think their running backs are best in between the tackles.
3rd and 8. Webb will throw, nearly picked off by Trayvon Wiley. Green was looking for Jalen Rayford, the son of Aaron Montgomery, on that play. They'll set up 4th and 8.
Definitely great play right there from the safety to come down from his cover 2 stance and make a play on the receiver up the sideline. I think if he would have angled the ball a little bit more to the sideline, it could have been a big play for them.
So a big 4th down here for Green and the Lions offense. What does Neon Breon have here? Rolling out. He's got some speed. There goes Green. He looked like he might have gotten the 1st down. I think he did, Latif.
Great patience for him reading the field. He definitely ran after he checked the pass right there. Definitely an option play right there. Great call on 4th and 8. Get it to your arguably second best player on your offense.
Green totes the ball for nearly 9 yards per carry as Pollard pushes up ahead to the 24, running behind the strong offensive line that includes a lot of very big guys, Latif, including Jaquarius Green. They're 6'3", 385-pounder at left guard.
And that's been a staple of this Lions team for a very long time, having those big offensive linemen. Have had some Division I offensive linemen on this offensive line in past years, so not very surprised at all that trend is continuing to happen.
2nd and 4, Green keeps it. Shakes one man and gets stood up at about the 20. Speaking of Division I players, Gary Rutherford from last year, a player I know we both remember, now a redshirt freshman at the University of Wyoming.
Yeah, and this program has produced NFL players, and they produce Division I players for the last 20 years as well. So very storied history here.
Including
Peoria.
Geno Hess, too, the all-time leading rusher at SEMO down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. 1st and 10 from the 20. Lions on the door of the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone. It's a modest pickup there. Going back to Gary Rutherford, Latif, got a funny story for you. I was reading a story actually just earlier today. My good friend David Minion wrote it, and Gary Rutherford's father, as Pollard gets wrapped up by Mikey Kimmel. Big stop there for the linebacker. Gary Rutherford's father is a mail carrier and delivers mail to some rural towns near in between Glassford and Canton. And he said that he swore he saw a Bigfoot earlier not too long ago. And his story has gotten shared on multiple Bigfoot accounts. Said he saw a 8-foot-tall hairy creature with orange glowing eyes when he was on his route at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, I wonder how valid it is. I mean, it was 6 in the morning, so
that's what I was wondering too.
He just woke up. You might be seeing things. But speaking on the Rutherfords, though, they have one of the best sports family in town since I've been here. They, basketball, football, very, very talented kids in that family.
A lot of family connections on this Peoria High team. We talked about it last broadcast for them. You got cousins of all sorts. You got multiple Jordan brothers with Taylin, Keon, and Kiwan. 4th and 4 from the 14. Green looking to the edge. He's got TQ Webb, and a nice hook up there for about 13.
Great way to win early on the outside release. They're definitely making it a point to get the ball to their best players, needing a score right here to take control of this game.
Lions looking to equalize here. A nice clock-eating drive, Latif. Taking over 4.5 minutes off the clock so far. First and goal from the 5. Green will keep it. Hops inside the 5. Hurdles the man and is into the end zone. Touchdown for Breon Green, his 7th on the ground this season.
I don't know if it's a number 5, but he kind of reminds me of Jaden Daniels. Very, very elusive, very quick, dual threat ability, can make all the right passes, and he's a little bit skinny and lanky as well. Kind of the comparison I've been drawing as I've seen him play today.
I'd say that's a pretty good comparison. Jaden Daniels is my fantasy quarterback right now.
Yeah, I'm stuck with Matthew Stafford. Justin Fields got benched.
You said Justin, you benched Justin Fields for Matthew Stafford?
No, Justin Fields got benched for Russell Wilson.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Green now for the 2-point conversion is in, and Peoria High takes control. With 7:22 to go, there's that big counter punch. That halftime speech in the locker room worked out.
Yeah, great way to respond. You were down on the ropes, and I think they went into halftime and just told them, we're still in control of this game. We have our friends here. We on our home field. We've been in this position before with these close games we had this year. Let's go get it done on that first drive.
And a nice job returning to the ground to Tarion Pollard, pick up a lot of yards on that drive. Green getting it down his legs as well. Scoring drive, all brought to you by Papa John's. Is it one of their multiple area locations?
And if I'm the Lions, I'm trying to get this drive over quickly because the one thing they were doing as far as that first quarter, they were taking a lot of time off the clock. And then on defense, they were getting the Purple Raiders off the field very quickly. And it was tiring out that Purple Raiders defense and giving them the upper hand. So if they can replicate that in the second half, then they will walk away victorious heading to next week.
Whoever wins tonight is going to carry a whole lot of momentum going into Week 9. Both teams had lots of it coming into tonight. Here goes an onside for Peoria High. And ball's on the ground. I think the Lions have it. It was in the Bloomington player's hand, but it jumped out, and I think it's Peoria football.
And I talked about them limiting them to a short drive, making that defense be tired out, but I was definitely not thinking that quick at all. Didn't even allow the Purple Raiders offense to touch the ball. And we haven't seen much of that tonight. I know watching them over the years, they used to do that every single kickoff, onside kick. And going back a little bit to their roots with Tim Thornton there, and it worked out.
Definitely, Peoria High loves onside kicking. They've done it for years and years on end. We haven't seen it much tonight. I was a bit surprised by that. They do it there and it pays off. I believe it was Gerald Jenkins, number 22, who came away with the football. So just like how Bloomington got a score, then got the ball right back, now Peoria does the same. That just what makes this Lions team so hard to beat is when they get those double whammies like that. Doesn't leave you many options other than trying to stop them.
And we were talking about them possibly doubling up before halftime, but they basically just did that now because they got the ball back so quickly. And you definitely prepare for that in meetings and in practice for the week. But because they have not been doing it so much this season, definitely caught them off guard. Great play call. Great decision right there. Could be, one of those, how New Orleans Saints did that in the Super Bowl and they just gave them the win, gave them more juice.
Pollard, another big run here. High stepping inside the 20. Pushed out inside the 5. Another big run for the junior running back.
Oh, it had to be embarrassing. That defender got stepped on all the way into the pavement. I hope he's feeling okay. Grown man run right there from Pollard. He's been looking like Tony Pollard out there tonight in the first few weeks of the season.
Detarion Pollard, the younger brother of former Lion Deatrick Pollard. And he gets the call here on 1st and goal. He's in. Back-to-back touchdowns for the Lions. They score twice in the span of a minute.
Lightning quick offense, but also just doing it where they can tire out the defense, running the ball constantly, explosive plays. You know, I think I would compare the Lions over the years. I do these NFL comparisons a lot, but they kind of remind me of the Chiefs. They're just never out of the game. You get them on third down and long, 4th down and long. They're confident going for it. Just a dynamic offense that when they turn the ball over, you get shocked, but then they can just score like this any and every time.
Beautiful slant route from Green to Rayford on the 2-point conversion, and just like that, it's a 10-point lead. 2 possessions for the Lions. 16 points in the first 5 minutes and 22 seconds of this third quarter. Latif, and Bloomington hasn't even ran out a play yet here in the second half.
But if I am Bloomington, I'm telling myself, we've been here before. We were down 14-0 to start the first quarter. We dominated the end of that first quarter and second quarter. We can't make another comeback. And I will say, I predicted 28-35. I was wrong. We're already at 30-20, and this could be a very, very high-scoring game. But I did say it will be a shootout.
And that scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. In case you forgot from last time, only reminded you maybe a minute or so ago, this quick strike Peoria offense. Now we'll see if they go for the onside again, Latif. And boy, that would.
Some of those onside kicks, they do.
They do. It's another bouncing ball, and the Lions have it.
No way.
Another perfect onside kick over the Bloomington defenders, bounces right into the hands of a Lion. Look at that sideline right now.
And I've seen these onside kicks over the years just demoralize a team, because when they do it so much and they get it back-to-back, it's like, what do you even do at that point? The defense is back on the field, and this one might get scary if they score right here, and I think they will, because the defense is tired. They have been on the field for like 5 minutes straight with no breaks, and they're running the ball down their throats.
That is a great point. Let's see this Bloomington defense getting no breaks at all, as Braylon Mitchell, the senior defensive back, was the one to come away with it, and he was almost uncontested. 1st and 10, Green going long for Webb, and there are multiple men in the area, and it's incomplete. Juan Rivera.
Great
was
play.
in coverage.
Great play from Webb right there to break that up. That was a clear interception, but he fought with the DB. I think they doubled him up right there, had him covered, and then they safety over the top. But the Lions are obviously being aggressive, trying to knock the doors off this game and go home with a win.
And why not go for the deep shot? You had everything going your way here in this third quarter. They'll run it with Pollard. Good stand by the Bloomington defensive line, with Gurveer Singh and Caden Walls plugging the holes up the middle. And that was actually Israel Lukoji, number 71, now coming off the field, helping stop Pollard there on second down. 3rd and 6 from the 45. Bloomington needs perhaps force an incomplete pass or get a stop at the line. It's a QB keeper. Green right to the left side. It will set up a 4th down, as I believe Kimmel was in there on that play.
Would be a very, very important stop. If you can get them off the field and not let them score, and a possible another onside kick, you can just get a change of possessions. It'd be big for this offense and defense.
So 4th and 2 now from the 41. Got her hands off. Pollard up the middle. He's got the first down and more inside the 35. That's just going back to what you said, Latif. This defense is starting to feel it.
Definitely. You cannot afford plays like that against a high-power offense like this. Been running it on 4th down all night and converting it. When the team has confidence where they can just go in 4-down territory every single drive. It is very hard to stop that for sure, because these little runs are getting to 2nd and 7, then 2nd and 5, and then 3rd and 3, and they have the ability to open up their playbook as much as they want with 4-down territory every single drive.
Take notes, folks. This is Peoria High football at its best. Big plays, onside kicks, 2-point conversions, and another big play there. He connects with Rayford, still on his feet. What a play! Jalen Rayford pulls out the razzle-dazzle. It's a 31-yard touchdown.
What a spin move. That was ESPN top 10 worthy. Completely shake the defender. Got to imagine he was tired right there, and then the defense just let him go into the end zone. Incredible play right there. They are rolling all the momentum, and, man, they just completely take the momentum away after halftime. I need to know what was said in that halftime meeting, because it had to be something amazing.
Something out of movies, probably. Peoria High has now scored 22 and could score their 23rd and 24th points of the third quarter here on this play. It's a broken play, though, and Green is going nowhere. So a small silver lining there for Bloomington. That keeps a 2-possession game. Very important stop there.
Yep. Now I would assume, if I'm Peoria, why not onside it again? So make sure you got your hands team in there to protect the ball, because another one of those would just be the nail in the coffin, I think, for this game. And then we'll be getting into blowout and territory.
Again, Bloomington still has some time left. But again, they're going to need to just get the ball back. It's hard to score points when you don't get the ball. That's a huge task to ask your defense to try and score. Again, that's the scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. Lions certainly earning their pizza tonight. Here on night where they're honoring the Peoria Police Department. Again, they came in on a custom-wrapped City Link bus with the Peoria Police Department logo on it. And again, those uniforms, in case you're just tuning in, again, Peoria Police Department themed their blue and mainly yellow. Colors of the Peoria PD. And I would say it looks a little funky with those red helmets, but hey, so far it's been a winning uniform combo. City connects, if you will. Another onside. That one is bouncing out of bounds, so Bloomington will get the ball here. And now, for the first time this second half, you finally get to see A.J. Codron and the Bloomington offense. Here's a look at what Codron's done this season. He's a third-year starter, improved every year. You see his numbers.
And that's crazy to say this is their first time touching the ball, and we've been over 7 to 8 minutes of this second half, and they have not touched it. That has to be some type of impressive stat you would see on like ESPN or something like that.
Well, it's one thing if Peoria High maybe had a very long clock milking drive. It took up 7-8 minutes or so, but in those 7-8 minutes, they've scored 22 points. They'll hand off. Lanier, another nice run out to the outside. Ankle tackle, he's brought down there by Gerald Jenkins, one of the onside kick recoveries.
And this offense is one of the most explosive in the entire state. Can do stuff like this at a snap of a finger. 22 straight points, not uncommon we've seen from them at all. Definitely unexpected, though, after that first half. Did not expect them to come out with this type of focus and mentality.
Lanier's been running a lot of those counter-type plays. Says something about a 2nd and 5 or so. Codron will pass, looking for Tyndall. Great coverage that time from Jenkins, and no pass interference that time. Well done by the junior.
Incredible play right there to break the ball up. And he's been struggling a little bit tonight, so a play like that definitely builds his confidence back up, because he was a big part of those Bloomington scoring drives with his pass interferences.
Again, though, one of those pass interference calls did save a potential touchdown, so you can't fault him too much for that one. 3rd and 5 from the 38. Cedric Gassaway in motion for Bloomington. It's going to be a play action. Cadron, multiple Lions in the grill, looking for Bai, who lays out and can't bring it in. Cadron's had to get rid of that ball as soon as possible.
Yeah, he definitely wants that one back, but he was definitely under pressure. But that would have connected for a big-time touchdown. Would have done well for the momentum. And now you're 4th and 5. It is 4-down territory, and you have to pick this up if you want a chance to win this game.
It is 4th and 5. So it is manageable here for Bloomington. Playbook is open. If I had to guess, they could maybe go back to one of those receiver end arounds that they scored on in the first half with Jones.
Would be a good call, but I don't think they're doing that just based on that formation. And now probably a false start.
This might back them up even more. And just this whole third quarter, Latif, just that whole energy has been sucked out of the Bloomington sideline. That first drive, they were yelling, oh, and making noise. They were pumped up. They had the lead. And then they just get punched in the mouth by Mike Tyson, pretty much. They got to find something to get them back into this game.
And not only the sidelines, the fans, too, have not said a word this entire half. So that was a big thing as well, because they had quieted the Lions crowd, and their crowd was making a lot of noise in the early stages of this game.
That Peoria High crowd always seems a bit louder than it appears because of that grandstand. The noise echoes off of the roof of it. It gets very loud over there. As we're going to get a timeout called by Bloomington to talk things over. Now 4th and 10. So we talked about what they do on 4th and 5. Probably a passing situation here. What type of pass, maybe what kind of route do you want to run? Do you maybe go play action here at all? Or
play action game hasn't been working. I'll put them in shotgun because the defense knows you're not running the ball on 4th and 10. So I don't know how beneficial play action would be in a situation like this. Definitely want to see if you can get something quick. Peoria has been playing a lot of man, so something that will win easily. A comeback route behind, like outside of the sticks, or possibly a slant route and give your playmakers a chance to make a play towards the line to go.
A beautiful look at the moon tonight. Wesley Stombaugh behind the camera getting a look at the current lunar situation. Current situation on the field is a 4th and 10 for Bloomington. Cadron throwing it deep, looking for Hamilton. Hit him in the breadbasket, and he brought it in. What a catch from Keontae Hamilton that keeps this drive moving.
Great adjustment by the receiver, was a little bit underthrown. Great job by him by tracking the ball. And the Purple Raiders had heavy protection right there. They knew he was coming, had a fullback and the tailback on the right side of the formation to protect against that pass.
Niall Mulcahy said that Cadron does such a good job going through his progressions. I think, though, on that play, he had one target in mind, and it was Keontae Hamilton. What a catch in double coverage. So now that puts Bloomington inside the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone at the 8-yard line. The first and goal, it's Lanier. Plowing forward. Massive humanity takes him down before he reaches the 5. This has been a very fun game, Latif, just back and forth. And now if Bloomington scores here, then you're looking at, okay, now that the Purple Raiders, they get a huge swing of momentum like they did in quarter number 2.
Definitely, and it would just be like a more so mirror of the first half where potentially the Lions could dominate that first quarter of the half, and then to end the half, the Purple Raiders get a score, and it gives them momentum going into the next quarter. We'll see if that's a trend going on in this game.
Now, 2nd and goal. Cotter looking to throw, looking for that back corner ball, and no one was home. Hamilton was the nearest receiver in the area, but it's kind of a throwaway play there.
I'm not the biggest fan of goal line phase in high school football.
They have been looking for a lot of those goal line phases. It's the 3rd or 4th one they've thrown tonight.
Unless you have like a 6'5" receiver, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I think DBs are probably the best in this situation, especially these particular DBs, how physical they are, how handsy they get. how strong they are. I just wouldn't like it in this situation. Definitely try to run the ball here. You got one of the best running backs in the entire state. Get the ball in your best player's hands.
Let's see what they do here with 3 wide receivers. Strips left. Codron looking for the back of the end zone with Tyndall. Hit him in his hands and he dropped it. Oh, what could have been for the junior. He was open in the back corner.
And he almost shut me up at the goal line phase. I almost got it to go. But costly drop right there.
Hit Tyndall in the hands and could not bring it in. So now it's 4th down and Bloomington keeping the offense out there. You know, Codron has thrown some good goal line fades this year. Saw one back in week 6, a beauty. One of the best balls I've seen all season to Keontae Hamilton. And that was another nice one to Tyndall, but he just couldn't bring it in.
And I'm very, very surprised they have not went to Lanier at all on this drive. But now you're in an obvious passing situation. Kind of too late for that. Could be a costly mistake for the Purple Raiders.
Can Bloomington keep some pressure off of its defense? Here's 3 wide receivers. Again, keep an eye on Tyndall. He's at the bottom of your screen. Codron looking his way. Again. Incomplete. No flags on the play. Great defense by Melvin Jenkins, and the Lions take over.
So about 4 goal line fade-ish type plays on that goal line. That just illustrates why I don't like it. Just too easy for the defenders to guard. They kind of know where you're going in that situation and always passing down. We saw no routes towards the middle of the field, nothing underneath. None of those end arounds that they have been working on and getting a lot of good gains in this game. Costly play calling.
And I think part of it too is, I think Bloomington may have been banking okay. Jenkins has been very aggressive on Tyndall tonight. Tyndall's 6'3", 190. Jenkins is 5'9", so Tyndall's got 6 inches on him. You had to be physical with him, but he did so there without committing the penalty. This play is blown dead. This might back up the Lions even more, but I think right now, Latif, 2:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Not that late in the game just yet, but you do feel like you do kind of need to get a stop. Keep Peoria High at least within 2 possessions. Definitely do not want to go down 3 scores to this very high-octane offense. Green will keep it again. Stringing it to the outside. Lanier in pursuit. Can't bring him down. It's a pickup of about 9 there as Green runs all the way to the fence and across the track.
Got a little pop in the step after he gets that first down. A big first down for them. They were backed up in their own territory. And he's just illustrating, him and Pollard tonight, how hard it is to stop an offense like this when they have a dual threat quarterback and a running back that's so dynamic, a la the Baltimore Ravens.
Green's pass is tipped and incomplete, nearly brought in by a Bloomington defender. We've seen multiple tipped passes. Purple Raiders have done a nice job getting their hands up in the air tonight.
Yeah, just isn't able to capitalize, and that's a few turnover-worthy plays that they've created and haven't been able to capitalize outside of that first quarter.
Pollard bursts up the seam across the 30. No official stats, but IHSA Pollard is well over 100 yards, maybe closing in on the 150 to 200 mark.
Yeah, I would probably say closer to 200. Has had a big runs, but they also just been feeding him a lot of carries as well. Wearing down this defensive line. You see them right now, hands on their hips, huffing and puffing.
They've been on the field for most of this 3rd quarter. There are 2 onside kick recoveries by Peoria High. Pollard still can't be brought down by Bloomington's front 7. It's a front 7 that's been very strong this year, but has not been able to figure out Detarion Pollard.
Well, I don't know if they faced a running back and quarterback duo like this so far, and just this high-octane offense with this great offensive line. It's definitely a different challenge than what they face at any point this season.
And Bloomington's got some very big men in the interior of their line, including the 370-pound Walls. He helps get the stop right there. Justin Robinson, and again, has another big player on that Bloomington defensive line, Latif. Came in today with 8.5 sacks, but trying to sack Breon Green is largely a fool's errand.
Yep. He's been great this year. The entire defensive line has been great, like you said earlier. But this is, it's kind of a showing what you're going to see in the playoffs, though, because a lot of these playoff teams have big offensive line, physical running backs, great play calling.
2nd and 8, Green trying to find something. He'll keep it across the 50. There goes Breon Green.
No way.
He's still in bounds. Oh, and now they blow the play dead. He was just out of bounds, but boy, if Green could have kept the tightrope going, that might have been one of his best plays of the year.
Might have undersold him a little bit with Jaden Daniels. Might be Lamar Jackson.
Of all your comparisons today, I think that might be one of the best and most accurate.
Yeah, he's very elusive. And the way he was running with the ball right there, he
just looked like Lamar.
Yeah,
on that play.
like how he held it when he was running it away from his body in front of the defense, keeping his eyes down the field, making the defense, think he could also throw the ball. But the play looks like it's coming back, maybe a holding.
This is actually a false start, or either a false or a hold on the Lions, so all for naught. But you still get to see what Breon Green can do with the football.
Yeah, very gifted, natural athlete. Can probably play a lot of positions out here in high school. Would like to see his passing continue to progress as he is the starting quarterback of this team going forward.
And with that, the third quarter has wrapped up here from historic Peoria Stadium. Lions with a massive, massive statement here at home. And they scored 22 straight in that quarter. That third quarter brought to you by Peoria Production Solutions. We'll take a quick break here in our WMBD Game of the Week and be right back after these messages.
The Jansen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
You're involved in a serious auto crash. The insurance company isn't even fair with you concerning your motor vehicle. Do you think they're going to be fair with you with regard to your serious injuries? Contact the Jansen Law Center.
Jay Jansen. One name says it all.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoyunitedway.org.
And welcome back to Peoria Stadium. Breon Green, another keeper on first down. I should say on third down, rather. And picks up a 16, so that'll move the chains. Some laundry on the field. And it looks like they will march back again, so again, we've seen Peoria High enough over the years. We kind of know what works for them, how they play in certain situations. The only things that really can beat Peoria High most of the time is, again, like we said at the top of the broadcast, is tough elements and penalties.
Yeah, it's been with their offense, because how many plays they run, how fast they run, it's bound to get penalties because it's hard to be disciplined while you're running that fast, especially just being high school students. But, yeah, I'll add, basically, the only things that can beat them is themselves, the weather, or a insanely good team like an East St. Louis or something like that. They run into a powerhouse in the state. But, they had state championships too a few years back. Were runner-ups.
Yep.
So not too many teams in the entire state can beat this team at all.
I'm sure the Lions fans would want me to conjure up this memory, but again, they were just 1 yard short of winning a state title against Nazareth Academy back in 2022. A 2-point conversion fell just 1 yard short. They were essentially just right there. And Peoria High looking for a deeper playoff run, though, this time around. They suffered a first-round exit to Joliet Catholic Academy, who we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. In the first round last year, They're a very ground-heavy, very tough team that just very contrasting styles with Peoria High, and the Lions fell early on, but looking forward to maybe a deeper playoff run this year.
Joliet Catholic is a incredibly hard first-round pool. They are one of the best teams in the state year in, year out. With that, I think it's East Catholic Conference, I want to say.
They're in one of the Chicago Catholic League conferences.
Yep. So that's consistently one of the best conferences in the state year in, year out. Have multiple state-ranked teams every single year.
Definitely. Another good run there from Green. Again, Latif, it's been at least a welcome sight for us because back when we saw him week 5, we didn't get to see Breon Green at his best. Again, very windy night, tough to throw the ball. Normal West defense had him in a bottle, but this is what we can truly see from Green, and also to Tarion Pollard, who's put together a fine game. He's been a workhorse tonight.
Yeah, we come into this game, when we talked about the weather, we knew that they were going to be able to open their playbook and not be limited to anything they do. Have passed a bit tonight, mostly running to play to their strengths, but they definitely have opened up the passing game, and he's been able to use his legs a lot and kill these linebackers and safeties at the second level.
Lions have very quietly burned 2.5 minutes off the clock. Handoff, I think that was Netters. He gets pushed back. Haven't seen a ton of Netters running the ball tonight. He's been a strong second option, though, for the Lions with 574 yards and 6 touchdowns coming into tonight.
And we talked about this earlier. It's almost impossible to win a game when you're down 2 scores to the Lions. The Bloomington did the impossible and came back from the 2-score deficit. Then the Lions came out at halftime and just punched them in the mouth. And now you see another 2-score lead. At this point in the game, they're driving into the red zone. 9 minutes left. They're taking a lot of time off the clock with short passes, dominating the offensive line of scrimmage for the run game. You almost have to get a stop right here because 3 scores with this amount of time left and the way they run the ball, it's not a good chance you win it. You know how you see like on ESPN and other websites where they have like throughout the game the probability.
The winning probability.
Win probability. It's at right now. It's going to be probably at 80% for the Lions. They get another score. It's going to be at 99.
It would take some magic from Bloomington. We'll see if their defense can get a stop, though. Previous play, a nice connection to TQ Webb as Pollard gets thrown back by a couple of Purple Raiders, including Kimmel. Morton leading Dunlap 26-14 right now, so Potters looking good at home, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive and move to 4-4. Again, want to quickly plug our CSM bracketology. We'll have a new edition, updated projections for all the brackets next week on CSM Overtime. Green runs out of bounds, flag in the backfield on that 3rd and 1 play. Again, 4 minutes have already come off the clock, Latif. Not that Bloomington can't be a quick strike team. They have lots of very fast guys like Arion Jones, Keontae Hamilton. But, again, you want as much time as possible when you're trying to make up a deficit like this.
Especially because as much time goes by, it limits your playbook. You can't run the ball as much. And that's the best thing they've done tonight is run the ball with Lanier. And when he is your best player probably on offense, and he can't be effective, it really limits your offense.
And again, versus the football you see on Sundays where they play 15-minute quarters, you got 3 more minutes, make a comeback. Just 12 minutes in high school. Netters, a nice little end around up to about the 20-yard line there on 3rd and 10. Bloomington just hasn't been able to get off the field in those 3rd and longs, and it does move the chains.
Those are drive killers for your defense, and it's demoralizing. It makes them more tired. You can see they are fed up out there, hands on their hips.
They're just gassed is what it is right now. We'll see again. Still plenty of time and room to make a stop. Let's take a look at the Bloomington schedule. Just 1 game left. They got Champaign Centennial next week. That should be a good game at the Fred. down there in Bloomington. Some big-name teams that Bloomington has played against and beat this year, including U-High and Normal West. And also quickly at Peoria High again, that huge game against Community. A win tonight could set up a winner-take-all conference championship game pretty much in Normal next week. So 1st and 10 from the 20. In the red zone, brought to you by Ashley Furniture Home Store. Pollard bounces off a man and picks up 2 more yards.
And the clock is rolling. Going to be a pretty quick one here tonight. Usually some of these games are closer to 10 o'clock, but both teams not calling too many timeouts, running the ball a lot, and here they go with this tempo offense.
Peoria High seemingly going, it's kind of a juxtaposition. They're going so fast, but taking so much time off the clock at the same time because they've been running the ball so much. I was about to say, every Friday, I'm lucky enough to head over to WMBD Studios after each game, break things down with Kurt Pegler and Patrick Cunningham as Pollard is inside the 10. Usually I'm in a pretty quick rush to get over there, and even though we're much closer, I don't think I'm going to have to rush too much out of here. 2 hours, and we're already halfway through the 4th quarter. It's flying by.
Yeah, you could probably pack up, go get some food, Papa John's pizza real quick.
Yeah, grab some Papa. That sounds pretty good.
Then go ahead. I said that because that's what's on my mind right now. But then you go head on to WMBD with some time to spare.
Maybe go back to my apartment even. We'll see if we have any late game theatrics here beforehand. Clock nearing 6 minutes, and Peoria High in no hurry. Here on 2nd and goal from the 19 after that flag. As a keeper by Green. High stepping inside the 15. And a modest gain there of 5. Green's probably up near 100 yards rushing tonight, if not over that already.
Definitely would have been over that if he had that big run stand, but that holding quarterback been very dynamic, and he's very hard to deal with. I think, honestly, a dual threat quarterback is hard for any high school defense to deal with because you don't really – having like a QB spy is really it's really hard to ask from a high school linebacker.
Incomplete pass there on 3rd down. That'll bring up a 4th and goal from the 14, and this is – I should say that was 2nd down, so this is 3rd down, but again, you cannot let Peoria in the end zone here. If you do, I think that, again, probably keeps Bloomington probably on their last thread. As a pass interference call on that play. Did not see the flag, I admit. That'll make it now 3rd and goal from the 7, half the distance. Again, Peoria High scored 22 unanswered in that 3rd quarter, and Pollard is stopped. Big tackle there. I believe that was Robinson. Now it sets up 4th down, and now if you can just get one stop, Latif, it keeps Bloomington in this game.
One stop and a quick score is definitely what they need. Let's see what they can do on this play. I definitely think the Lions are going to open it up for a pass here.
Maybe a keeper from Green. He's looking to throw, though. Got a man. TQ Webb.
And those
the closer.
And those little comeback routes have been killing this Bloomington team all night. TQ Webb, dominant second half. He started the second half with a return that was electric, and they have been going to him and Green and Pollard all night. Don't know how many other people have touched the ball in the second half, and it's been the jump they need to take this big lead and have the defying blow to take this game and take the win.
Fantastic game from TQ Webb. 2-point conversion is good. That pass brought in there by number 10. Looks like that was Amari Branch. First time we've called his name tonight. He gives Peoria another one. It's a deadly thing about these 2-point conversions, Latif, is you get 3 of those. That essentially amounts to another touchdown.
Yeah, and it's very hard to win a game when you give up 3 2-point conversions. But, man, look at that scoreboard. 44-20. It was 14-20. 30 straight unanswered points. Completely dominated the second half. And that defense from the last 2 weeks, I don't even know it was a defense. They got like 2 onside. I mean, the defense was great, but 2 onside kicks is gonna be very hard to win games.
Their defense is probably owing their offense a steak dinner for keeping them on the sideline and rested up almost this entire second half. That scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. Maybe they owe them a couple pizzas as well, but Peoria High 4:56 away from a big win. If Bloomington can score quick, they can make things interesting, but puts a lot of pressure on A.J. Codron and that offense.
And can we possibly be seeing another onside kick?
I don't see why not.
Oh,
they will kick it deep.
Great sportsmanship right there.
Hamilton back to return it from the 20. Has some blocks.
Oh my God.
Going back to the left. Nice run. Flag is down. Hamilton going east-west and pushed out at the 40. There by Titavion Alexander.
I think it was a block in the black or a blindside block, but that was some really nippy moves from him right there on that return.
Oh, it's a tall task for the Purple Raiders on the road right now. This game has been all about momentum as the police officers taking a little jog around the track. Or no, they looked like a lot of police officers here tonight for police night. It's just the Peoria High cheer team making a lap around the track as well. Maybe for how many points that the Lions have scored tonight. I'm sure the police officers here tonight, being honored, probably don't need much of a workout. Want to probably get a lot of it on a daily basis. Want to thank them for all they do, especially in Peoria, as well as down in Bloomington, too. 1st and 10 from the 19 is where they start. Cotter looking long to Hamilton, brings it in. Add something for Bloomington, and another beautiful over-the-shoulder grab.
And if you're going to make an improbable comeback, you need plays like that, big chunk plays that also stop the clock for a moment as well. Perfect play for them. Dialed up on that play.
That was a great pass again from Codron. A first-team All-Big 12 quarterback this year, and I think he might be on track to possibly do so again this year. Had 194 yards and a touchdown last week. He is in some trouble. Codron's going down, and it's Dorsey Doss, the doctor again.
Yeah.
A leader of the defense.
That's someone you got a game plan for right there. I don't know how you let him get off on the edge right there. I think the running back definitely missed a block, and it was too late.
What a big sack for Dorsey Doss, who returned a fumble for a touchdown last week. Has been all over the place, especially in that first half. Haven't called his name much in the second half, but that's because he's just been chilling out on the sidelines, watching this Lions offense go to work. From the shotgun, Codron airing it out again to Hamilton, and a flag down. That's going to be a pass interference call. Looks like against Branch.
Definitely held him right there. Didn't allow him to make any attempt on the ball. But you would take that at this point in the game instead of a big play.
Doesn't move you forward a bit. Again, not a spot foul at high school. Just a set yardage penalty. So it will move Bloomington up to the Peoria 41. Not only do they need 3 touchdowns, Latif, they also need 3 2-point conversions as well, just to tie this one here in the final 3:49. Second and 4. Codron's got 2 wide receivers out there and plenty of blocking help. It's a slant route looking for Tyndall, knocked away. The Peoria High rush tonight, Latif, has forced Bloomington to use some extra blockers. That means less options for Cadron to throw to.
It's been a theme for that all night where they haven't been able to protect that offensive line at all. It's also taking Lanier out the running game as well. And the extra blockers that's sometimes not even working either. So he's been under pressure a lot. Been asked to make some big-time plays today. But on the bright side, it's not going to get any easier anytime soon heading into the playoffs.
This game will prepare both teams for the playoffs as they get close to the first down. The hookup with Kenner Bai, who's been a big part of the Bloomington offense tonight, rushing the ball and catching it as well. And Bloomington, again, they want to see some big tests, and they certainly have seen some this year. They also lost in the first round of the Class 6A playoffs to Glenwood last year. Looking to make a deep run, and I certainly think, even still given tonight's result, I still think it's a team that can do so. Peoria High is just such a hard team to beat given the brand of football that they play.
Definitely they tire you out. They don't allow you to make mistakes. If you make mistakes, they capitalize pretty frequently. And they have a dominant pass rush, a dominant offensive line, corners that can stay in man. Having corners that can stay in man is such a luxury because you are able to just create pressure on every single play, all out blitzes. They don't play a lot of zone either, so it's very hard for a high school offensive line to deal with that constant pressure down in and down out. So that's their luxury. But when they run into a team that can dominate a lot of scrimmage, then they'll be truly tested.
2nd and 10 from the 36. That last pass incomplete to Kenner Bai. Miscommunication between Cadron and Hamilton, who was going on a comeback route.
And that was a rare play where they didn't run man. They had a safety over the top. That would have been a very, very difficult pass to complete. Haven't seen much passes over the middle of the field. Just a lot of sideline, a lot of fades.
Yeah, there certainly haven't been testing the Peoria High linebacking crew too much. Again, that linebacking crew has been phenomenal tonight with Cam Peterson, Dorsey Doss. By the way, his nickname, we just gave it to him tonight after he diagnosed that play in the first half, down for a big tackle for loss. Cadron in some trouble, just throws it away in the direction of our good friend Adam Duvall down there. And sets up 4th and 10. Latif, I got some time here. Obviously, a big play for Bloomington coming up. But, again, we've seen so many of the best teams in the area. These are two of them. Who do you think is a team, any team we cover in our coverage area, you think is going to make the deepest run in the playoffs this year? I think there's a lot of different contenders.
Well, I kind of want to see the outcome of the next week's game, because I think it's probably going to be between Peoria and Normal Community for me. Just two of the most balanced teams in the state. I'm a big fan of that Normal Community defense.
I certainly am too. Arion Jones showed off the aerials there. And that does move the chains to pick up 11 on 4th and 10. I'm really excited to see more of Arion Jones as his high school career progresses. I think, I definitely think Peoria High, Normal Community, two good options, as is Bloomington. Small school level, I really think Farmington could make a deep run in Class 2A. That Farmers team has been really very strong. As well as maybe teams like Tri-Valley and Eureka as well, which, by the way, again, our small town throwdown game. Owen Dimful on the call with Brad Thompson over there tonight in Eureka. 1st and 10. Nice pass knocked away. Receiver had it in his hands, then Jenkins knocked it out. Cadron was looking for Jamari Sutton there.
And at this point, you do want to try to get a score hit, maybe get an onside kick, give the Lions a taste of their own medicine, make this game a little bit interesting. But you also, could try out some plays in situational football like this where you need a score for games later in the season.
So it'll be 3 wide receivers to the right side for Codron, looking Sutton's way again, and into double coverage. The safety, TQ Webb, came in for that play. We've seen a lot of kind of those repeat plays from Bloomington where if it doesn't work the first time, they go right at it again.
And it's very, very predictable at this point, especially when you need a quick score. Also, we kind of seen the Lions change up their coverage from man-to-man to a kind of like 2 high coverage shell.
And you see Kenyatta Gardner there on the Bloomington sideline, kind of beside himself right now. You played a good game, though. He started this game with an interception on one of the first plays of Peoria High, and also came away with a fumble, too. He certainly is done well for this Bloomington defense, but it's probably going to sting these Purple Raiders. They felt like one they could have had maybe tonight if a couple things went their way.
Definitely going into halftime, had all the momentum, and then just laid an egg, and it's like it's the margins. It's stuff like just recovering onside kicks could have greatly changed this game.
Codron going down by the ankles, and Cam Peterson's going to get credit for it. Another big play by Peoria's linebackers, and he just kind of ate him up from the ankles. This is, I think, Latif, one of the best defensive units Peoria High has had. Again, the focus every year is on their offense. And, over the last couple of years, they've tried to say, hey, our defense has got some playmakers, and, there's been some good defenses. They still give up a decent amount of points, but I think this has, been the best unit over at least the last couple of years, I think, that we've seen from Peoria High.
And it starts with their corners. Their corners have been the strength of the defense for a while now, but now they have a good linebacking crew.
Codron looking deep for Hamilton. I think he brought that in. What a catch. Codron, Keontae Hamilton.
Been trying to connect with him for this entire drive and finally get it done. Great catch, great job tracking the ball. It is a little too late, but you got to get your moral wins at this point in the game. And maybe that could be a connection we see for the rest of the year. Hopefully he's okay.
Player down for Peoria High. Hamilton a bit shaken up as well. Physical play, but what an impressive grab from Keontae Hamilton, the junior wide receiver, his 6th touchdown of the season. He's another player to keep an eye on when the all-conference ballots come out. He can make such big plays. And now Bloomington will go for 2. If they do convert, it is a 2-possession game. Peoria High scored twice in 1 minute. Maybe Bloomington does the same. You never know. And it'll be a direct snap to Rob Lanier. Haven't called his name in a while, but he punches it in for 2. And that'll make it 44-28. I wonder if Bloomington maybe sends over someone to the Peoria sideline and said, hey, how are you guys so successful in onside kicks? We'd like to know.
I think it's honestly, it can't be luck. They're just so good at it. I don't know. They must train their kickers every single year to do that. It's a very niche skill to have as a kicker. But they also just have quick athletes as well going to get those footballs on every onside kick.
That scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's, the first second-half score for Bloomington. As much as we talked about, their defense hasn't been able to, get off the field much. If Bloomington, you wouldn't say Bloomington would have scored once in the second half. I still think that the odds would have been stacked against them. But in their defense, they haven't had the ball that often. Peoria High has dominated time of possession in this game.
Yeah, they just threw off their entire offense. The defense was thrown off as well after a good performance in the first half. Weren't able to get off the field. And the offense just never got in sync in that second half. The playbook shortened because of the big lead, and they weren't able to run the ball as much. And that's not their strength at this time.
So it looks like Mikey Kimmel, who, by the way, was a game-time decision coming into this game, was shaken up pretty badly against Normal Community. But great to see him back on the field. He will send away this onside kick, at least we assume to be. It is a squibber heading near the sideline, goes out of bounds. Off of it Peoria players, so unsuccessful onside. That will most likely be the final hope for the visitors. A little bit of a different kick than what we've seen with Peoria High, who kind of had those ones they just lofted over the defense, and one guy catches it right on the bounce.
Yeah, that one got way too deep into the Lions territory. And as much as they do it, they probably practice those, so it's kind of hard to get on them as well. Like, I'm assuming they practice the offense, well, the kicking team practices in practice, and they have a hand team as well in case it happens to them. So I think it will be very hard to sneak up on them with an onside kick.
So Peoria High with 2 timeouts for Bloomington. Again, Purple Raiders could use them. They want to try and hang on to their last gasp, or they could just let it run out and will be a handoff here to Datarion Pollard. Plows ahead for another first down. Peoria High's offensive line has been the unsung heroes of this game.
Definitely, to start that first quarter, kind of got shaky when I think the Purple Raiders dominated both lines of scrimmage in the second quarter, but then a stellar performance from them in the third and fourth quarters, just dominating this game. One more run here, one or two more runs here, and we're going to call it a night.
And there's the first down, and that will pretty much do things. Again, looking ahead, Peoria High, a big win tonight to keep them in the Big 12 title conversation. And what a response from this team after that loss to Normal West. A blowout win over Richwood, 66-7. A dominant 44-2 win over Champaign Central. But this, arguably the most impressive of them all. Looks like a 44-28 win over the Class 6A number 10 Bloomington Purple Raiders. Final from Eureka tonight, Tri-Valley, and another de facto conference title game beats Eureka 29-12. So the Vikings looking at their 5th straight Heart of Illinois Conference title. And Peoria will play for a conference title next week against the Normal Community Ironmen as time bleeds out here. What a strong second half from this Lions team, Latif. They outscore Bloomington 30-8 in the final 24 minutes.
Came out, had to have game planned those onside kicks. Like, we're going to come out and deliver a knockout punch, and that they did. We saw the Purple Raiders able to respond to that knockout punch in the first half. Couldn't do it in the second half on the road in a dangerous atmosphere, and they just costly mistakes. I think the play calling could have been better, a little bit better in that second half as well. And they just couldn't respond from that initial knockout punch.
Well, cue the lights for Peoria High. They're flashing in victory tonight. We'll step aside for a quick break and wrap things up here from Peoria Stadium right after this in our WMBD Game of the Week.
Michael's Italian Feast, home of the best subs, pizza bread, grilled cheese, and Italian beef around. The best pile high subs and hot sandwiches in Central Illinois. And no one has better homemade, always fresh from the oven bread. Michael's Italian Feast.
Superstars showing out in Lambeau, bringing the heat in Buffalo. How about a rookie commanding some attention in Washington? Now that's a CBS Sports Sunday.
And welcome back to Peoria Stadium. The Lions celebrating a big state-ranked win at home, 44-28 over the Bloomington Purple Raiders. It was a game full of momentum. They jumped out 14-zip. Bloomington countered with 20 straight points and then 30 unanswered, at least until a late touchdown by Keontae Hamilton for Peoria High. Latif, our perfect choice exteriors player of the game, we got Breon Green.
He was dynamic, to say the least, tonight. In a running game, in a passing game. He was just so hard to stop. And on some of the scoring jobs from Pollard, you just saw how effective he was, because when they did these read options, the defense just came down all the way into the box, and then Pollard was able to benefit off that. But, yes, he was great tonight. A few turnover-worthy plays in the beginning of the game, but after that was very sharp, passing the ball, running the ball, very dynamic showing for him, and something they needed going into a very, very tough game against Normal Community next week.
Oh, big-time players come up in big-time games, and Breon Green came up huge for Peoria High tonight. He is a fun player to watch again. Just a junior. Got one more year of him in a Peoria High uniform. But that will about do it for from Peoria Stadium, I should say. Tonight, I want to thank you all for tuning in and spending your Friday night with us. Nowhere else we'd rather be. And again, I want to shout out all of our crew making tonight's broadcast possible. For Kayla Hollowell, Mark Wagner, Wesley Stombaugh, all behind the cameras, braving the cold, as well as our director, Josh Messenger, and producer, Teddy Ball, doing a fantastic job behind the sticks. Ben Tapp on the sidelines, snapping some photos. Keep an eye out for those on social media. And my broadcast partner, Latif Love. I'm Jonathan Michael saying so long and good night. From Peoria Stadium, the Lions roar in the den 44-28 and move to 6-1 or 7-1 on the season. That about does it. So long, folks. Have a great rest of your weekend.